welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Welcome back to my channel, Michaela Loves Gymnastics. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Welcome back to my channel, Michaela Loves Gymnastics. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Welcome back to my channel, Michaela Loves Gymnastics. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Welcome back to my channel, Michaela Loves Gymnastics. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Welcome back to my channel, Michaela Loves Gymnastics. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Welcome back to my channel, Michaela Loves Gymnastics. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Welcome back to my channel, Michaela Loves Gymnastics. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Welcome back to my channel, Michaela Loves Gymnastics.
I know. I did the gymnastics intro, but this is not a gymnastics show today. But I did do the gymnastics intro because that's the damn intro to my fucking show. So today, you guys, hopefully I can get some friends to get on. I invited a bunch of people to get on. They all said they was going to get on, but if nobody gets on, I will talk to you all for about 10, 15 minutes and take my ass back to sleep and maybe get back home and do a gymnastics podcast because, woo. Now, that's neither here nor there. The reason why I want to get on and talk with you guys because it's been so very long since I did something not necessarily gymnastics related. And so things have happened in our community that I think should get discussed. And I want to talk about it. So that's what I am doing. So now, y'all know I am not that technical diva. That's my co-host Addict's job. But I'm up here trying to talk, run the show, all this other stuff. So it may be some pauses. It may be some times that I'm looking at y'all like, ooh, what the fuck? Because I am just like, ooh, what the fuck on this episode. But again, neither here nor there. right now, I'm trying to figure out on Facebook how do I not make the show private for the friends and families only, but for everybody. Yeah, I swear I just did this, but I guess I did. So we all better figure this shit out together, girl. Um, yeah, I don't know why it keeps doing this. Whatever. Whatever, because if I keep trying to focus on this, I'm going to get frustrated and bullshit and just turn this shit off. So, you guys, today I guess we will be talking about. Well, I wanted to talk about the non-binary issue, but ain't nobody here. Yeah, we talked about it last time. I really don't have too much more to say about that. But if somebody gets on, if somebody don't get on, uh, I will do want to talk about what's going on with the Laverne Cox situation and how I feel like a lot of people are being. It's very hard because when you like people, you don't want to critique and criticize them. But I feel like if it was somebody else, maybe whose name wasn't Laverne Cox, people would have a different reaction, right? So I want to talk about it with people. Um, okay, so I got my friend Chris. He said he's going to join. Shayna just joined. Okay, good. I don't feel like I'm talking on the island by myself anymore. Okay, so y'all have a hope. Y'all have hopes for this podcast. Cause, woo, Shayna knows. Let me keep talking on the island by myself. I'm going to turn this shit off and
No,
happens
don't
with
do that.
Adam.
We need your voice.
What happens, sis?
I say we need your voice. Don't do that. Mm-mm.
How are you doing, sis? What's going on?
Girl, I took off work today, so I have been playing with the doggies all day. I cooked, just doing those type of things. Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you. Let me put my headphones on. Let me see if that helps. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Shayna?
I'm here.
Okay, that's way better. Okay. How you doing, sis? What's tea?
I'm I'm dandy like candy. I took off today, so I caught up on rest. I was able to
Okay.
take the doggies to the doggy park. I was able to clean my house decently, cook. Yeah,
Oh, you did a lot.
I did a lot today.
Cool. So,
How have you been?
I've been cool. I'm trying not to talk about gymnastics at all, but
Okay.
we had a
I
really
mean,
exciting weekend. This ain't, the gymnastics show, but
yeah.
it was a very good weekend. I'm glad I got a couple days off from work, so I'm just chilling. This is why I wanted to put in the energy to try to get this shit done today, because I actually have the energy to do it. Um,
which is wonderful.
So Shayna, why don't you tell the people, because the people who watch Love Gymnastics podcast may know who you are, but the people who
Hmm.
just watch me on Facebook may not know who you are. So let them know who you are and what you do and why I wanted to have to talk with you tonight.
All right. Well, my name is Shayna Williams. I'm from Louisiana, born and raised Baton Rouge. Go Tigers. I'm a woman of trans experience for the last 16 years. I officially started the hormone process and as they say, was engaged 24/7. That's how it starts off as a progression type situation. I just turned 40 this year. I have a undergrad degree in social work, and I'm currently getting my master's in social work. And my ultimate goal is to become a LCSW,
Okay.
which is a licensed clinical social worker. I haven't decided about the doctorate program yet, but it won't be in social work if I do. It'll be like in public administration or public health. My current job is I am a social worker slash caseworker for an LGBT. Well, it's not. I have a lot of LGBT clients, but it's not specifically geared towards LGBTQ. But it is a parenting center through the state, but it's a nonprofit. So we do multiple things. We have parenting, we have counseling, we have HIV prevention, but we also have case management for people that are currently HIV. So I have about 40 clients that I deal with on my regular job. And then on my part time job, I work at people with IDD, which is intellectual disabilities. And yeah, I have two doggies. Those are my worlds, and it's a whole bunch of other things. But enough about me. But that was a handful.
No, that's perfect. That's a perfect segue. So in your work in social justice and social issues, do you deal with a lot of people who identify not even trans or non-trans anymore, but with that not within the binary, like non-binary and gender non-conforming people? And as a social worker, you know, how do you handle this?
Well, I feel like it's all under the umbrella. So we have intakes when we have a client come in. So on a professional level, not as many non-binary, but I do have a lot of trans identifying clients.
Okay.
Like I have 40 people altogether, but about 5 of them are trans. But then I have a new client who has male pronoun names, wants to be addressed as that, but is very feminine. So when I ask, like, what are your pronouns? They don't say they are them, with a non-binary clause behind it. He says he. So I try to make sure I get those things correct in meeting people, because you never know, just because you're a part of something, you never know what this particular person is going through or what they identify as. Now, in my personal life, yes, I'm around many non-binary people that just don't even have labels, but you already know what their sex at birth is, but what they identify as, how they choose to live their life, you just really never know. And the whole non-binary topic is still really fresh. It's not like it's been like when they misconstrue cross dressers, transvestites towards versus transsexuals versus transgender. So unless a person tells you what they are, you can't just automatically assume something. Get it out, sister. Get it out. Get it out.
So how do
because the issue that not necessarily I'm having, just it's confusing to me, is that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the non-binary people who identify as non-binary in 2025 look like women to my eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I physically look at them, I would not see somebody I would identify as non binary. But then
Mm-hmm.
when I look at somebody who I think of as non binary or gender non conforming or whatever the case may be, that person now wants womanhood in totality. And as a person who is a binary trans person, I just think as a community,
Mm-hmm.
maybe we've done a very poor job of explanations
Mm-hmm.
slash
Explanation, information, education.
correct. So
And it gets confusing to the other side.
correct. And I'm just a trans woman who identifies in the binary, right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
identify as gender non-conforming or hell, I barely even identify as trans because I feel like even that is slightly putting me in a different box than womanhood. But that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my other friend is
Oh,
here.
test.
Oh, y'all's getting a show. Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Hey,
What's
Chris.
good?
So, you guys, this is Christopher Patterson, the host and creator of the Men Like Us podcast, slowly but surely spreading the good message of men who date trans women and men who have a trans attraction to the world at large. Fighting the good fight, the Lord's angel on this earth.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
Hey, Chris, I'll be right back, y'all. I gotta let my dogs out.
All right now.
Okay. So, Chris, why don't you, while we're waiting on Shannon to get back, why don't you introduce yourself to the people who may not know who you are, which I'm pretty sure everybody knows who you are.
Yeah, no, I think you covered it pretty well there. Yeah, just been doing this podcast thing for a minute. Sorry, I kind of
No,
fell
you're
asleep.
fine.
Fell asleep on the couch. I've been taking it easy these past couple days here. What's
You
today's?
are fine.
Yeah.
How
Oh
did
yeah.
you enjoy your
So
birthday?
actually, I just got done with a family reunion. And
Oh,
my family reunion was this past weekend, and I organized it mostly solo. So it's an event for like 115 people by myself, and it was just ran me ragged. So I just been like sleeping half the day and just been chilling out. So I'm not going to work, not doing nothing today. So sorry for coming late, but yeah, I've just been doing this podcast game for a minute. I run a the Men Like Us podcast is my second podcast. I had one before that called Trans Talk for Men. That is, I don't know. I've come to peace with it because we were a little out of control. It was a lot. But I also run two different online support groups for men. So ladies, if any of y'all watching this and you have a boyfriend, a husband who needs other men to talk about his life experience with, by all means, send them our way. It's the Men Like Us tribe on Facebook. Some men need community, some men don't. Some women are just tired of being the only ones their man can talk to about this kind of stuff. It's like, God, go get some friends. Get out of here. Get out of my face. Like, we're here. So it's a very dope, affirming community with men who are married, men who aren't married, men who have been dating trans women for decades, some guys that are still trying to figure out their beginning steps, all different levels of experience, a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge in the group. Definitely a dope space. So, and
it
outside of that, I'm
is.
here in Texas. I'm in Houston.
Cool, cool, cool. And just recently, friend, you went semi, well, hell, very viral actually over one of your posts on TikTok. Um,
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm like, viral. What you talking about?
well, you have two posts that are slightly going viral. You have the one post of just doing the men like trans women and all the little blogs are have slowly picking that one up. But you also have the one where men who are MAGA date trans women too. That's also going viral currently.
Yeah, that one is definitely starting to pick up. So the first one, yeah, it was just like just dating. Okay, so I did a video and it's just started off saying like, hey, if you are a man and you like trans women, that doesn't make you gay, that doesn't make you a chaser, it doesn't make you a freak, doesn't make you any of these things right off top. And that one, like anybody who knows my podcast knows that I'm not really doing it that much of it anymore. It's because when I have something to say, I'll say it. I don't feel like just going on just to go on. And that video came because my sister is a makeup artist.
Mm-hmm.
And we're pretty close, and she understands a lot about me. She's listened to my podcast. We've had some conversations, and so being in the makeup industry, obviously she's going to run into some of the girls,
of course.
And she was like talking to this one girl, and she doesn't like start conversations with trans women about men who like them or anything like that. I don't know how this came about. Because she just likes to do her own thing and just kind of leave me separate from all the stuff that she's doing. But some girl was just talking about like, yeah, every man who likes trans women is a chaser and this, and this. They're all this, they're all that. And she was like, yeah, but my brother's different. My brother actually likes you. Like you are what he prefers, for a girlfriend, for a wife, or whatever. And like, I just thought it was just really tragic that my family member had to defend me from somebody that don't even know me. And it's really sad we're in a state where like every man is bad, and people just get stuck in this negative nihilistic state. And it's just like, that's some bullshit. My family shouldn't have to come out here and defend me, defend my honor, and say, no, but that ain't my brother. My brother ain't like that. Shouldn't even be in that place. So I made that video just, kind of clearing the air a bit, because, liking trans women doesn't automatically make you a chaser. You're not automatically some sort of freak. You're not automatically some kind of guy that nobody should want to be with. There's just a lot of assumptions people make. And I had
absolutely 1,000%. And I want to add to that because it's kind of frustrating, because I feel like I'm one of the very few girls that I see on social media that actively defends, you guys, because, I feel like it's important. I'm literally married to a trans attractive man. So I feel like it's important for me and my other sisters to also be, and maybe makes me a pick me because this is what they call me, but
oh, geez.
I feel like it's important if you like cisgender men who like and you love yourself, you should want a man who likes trans women. Now, yes, I know it's a hard thing, sisters, to say, I want a man who likes trans women, so that must mean he likes all trans women. And that's just something that's immature that I think the girls need to get over. But I'm waiting on Shannon to get on. So while waiting on Shannon to get on, because I've talked to her about. Oh, okay. Well, I want to start off with the non-binary conversation before I get into the Laverne Cox of it all, because I with my auntie Laverne, I just feel two different ways, and I just can't get over both ways. I feel like both feelings are equally valid, but we're not there yet. I want to start off with the non-binary conversation. I want to bring you, Christopher, into it, and you, Shayna, as a psychologist, into it, because as a binary trans woman, I feel like there is slowly being a erasure of the binary in the trans community, right? And I feel like the elite at the top, for whatever reason, are pushing this. You're wrong if you want to be binary. We are all for to be non-binary people. And you're also wrong if you want to date a cisgender man. You should be pan pansexual and date everybody and be open and this all this that and the third. And when you don't subscribe to this new logic of transness in 2025, people look at you as ignorant. People look at it as something that they need to have a conversation with you about. People look at it as, you need to open your mind to the new realities of the world. And it's like, no, bitch, y'all are literally changing what it means to be trans before my eyes. And I do no longer subscribe to this. And this is why I made my last show was called Just Call Me a Tranny. Because I'm sorry, I know what a tranny is. We all know what a tranny is. I don't know what a trans is. I don't even know what transgender is in 2025 because y'all really have shifted the needle to what these words means and what these definitions have mean for all of eternity. Now they mean new things, and I just don't subscribe to it. So, like I was telling Shayna, it's very hard for me in the community now, Chris. With we have beautiful trans women, very beautiful, passable trans women, but you can't call them her. You have to call them they now because now all of these girls have subscribed to the non-binary of it all. So now it's offensive to call them she. You have to call them they. But then you have all of these people who just visually you wouldn't necessarily assume that this person was a woman or transgender or maybe non-binary you might give them, but you wouldn't assume transgender. But that community of people, they want the full totality of womanhood. You have to respect them as she and her and them, not them, so she and her, and give them the rights of womanhood, right? And as a trans woman who lives in the binary, I'm just telling my community this is why I've been wanting to do this podcast, just live for a while, because it don't make sense. And y'all asking us to defend against the straight with shit that even me, I'm looking at like, I'm not trying to call anybody out specifically, but Angelica, what do you mean you're not fucking she? You have a whole vagina and you what do you mean you're non-binary? You made a very binary decision. You have a sex change. That's a very binary decision. You can't go take that shit. Definitely once you have a sex change, you can't take that shit back. Right? That's a very binary decision, right? You could be gender non-conformant and be a binary trans woman. That I can accept. But being non-binary and being trans, I just can't accept it. And the community is just moving the needle, moving the needle, moving the needle, moving the needle, moving the needle. And even now, me, I'm lost now because I'm looking at my coworkers and they be like, "Well, girl, you not like." I'm like, "Girl, I'm not like." I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. All I can tell you to do is respect what the people say. But even me, I don't know anymore. I don't know. And it's like, Chris, as a man who dates trans women, how do you even feel about this? Like, well, how would you feel if a girl you was dating started with this them day? I'm not binary. I'm not a man. I'm not a woman. I'm either both or nothing or all of the above or I
Well,
just
the
don't
point
go ahead,
the
Shayna.
point the point of non-binary is really to not conform to the genders that have always been, which is male and female. So it's like a fluidity,
Hmm.
which that is a part of transgenderism because you're transitioning from one sex to another as you identify. But biology wise, you're always going to be really what your biology is. So I can see certain people saying that. It's just kind of confusing to people who just starting to get, acclimated with, not saying training has always been around, but it's always been a negative connotation behind the word, just like the N word or just like the F word. So, but
Hmm.
transvestite is what I used to hear growing up before I even knew what was what. And then transgender came later, and now we have it is confusing, but I get it. It's just everyone have their opinions. You got the Flame Monroes, but then you also have the T.S. Madisons and the Angelicas and the Lavernes, everyone is different in their belief system, but it is definitely confusing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an evolving situation. It's an evolving culture, and I would say the silver lining for this, Michaela, is it can never be said that the community is a monolith. So everybody's got their own. You could be more like a conservative Black person that go to church every Sunday, and they could be more like city girls, and you be like, look, we all Black, but we
Mm-hmm.
see the world very differently.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think where we get sometimes is a lot of the girls that have really invested in the binary and invested in a traditional mindset start to try to separate themselves. And I'm not saying this is you, Michaela. Actually, I'm speaking on like dating experience at this point. Um, but it's just like there's a separation, like and I can only equate this to race, where it's like, oh, we're the good, respectable Black people. I don't know about them.
They the
We're the
Negro,
good,
they
respectable ones.
Negroes.
Yeah, there is a separation there, an
Mm-hmm.
othering in a
Mm-hmm.
sense. But I guess as a man dating in this world, it really wouldn't bother me too much. I think it's more about how they present physically, because yes, I have to admit I am going to be more on the binary end of things. So if there is someone who, I guess in football terms, stops on the 50-yard line, it doesn't go to the 100, just not for me. But
Yeah.
that's okay. They're there for somebody else for sure. But I couldn't date somebody who was like, basically somebody said, "Hey, I'm trans, but I got a beard just like you, bro. Like can't work for me."
Yeah. That's how I feel about like trans men who identify as trans men.
Mm.
Um, I can be attracted to you. Okay, that's a nice looking man. When we go into the, I know it's kind of different going in from sex towards gender, but
It's
it's
not
like,
Trina, and this is where I'm at with it because I am a very binary transformer. I may not
mhm.
be, the most complete transformer, the most passive transformer, the most whatever transformer, but I do feel like I'm very binary, and I feel like being being binary is the one that's under attack under this new regime. I feel like the non-binary people, and this is again, I have to say this and emphasize, this is why this conversation has really made me have empathy towards a lot of my cisgender women sisters, because now I completely understand their issue when it comes to transgender people, because it's the exact same issue I guess I'm having with the non-binary community, which is, no, I think it's different because unlike the cisgender community, I'm not saying that they're not trans. I'm 100% saying that they are trans. What I'm saying is they're not the same trans as me. So, like how cisgender women are fighting us against this damn word cis, when this is us, making it, you guys are cis, we are trans. I'm not being that. What I'm saying is the same way there's a divide between cis and trans, I think there should be a divide between trans and non binary. All still trans, just is different, and I think it should be respected as different. And push back to something you said earlier, Shayna. To me, when somebody tell me you are non-binary, that is another gender, right? I like saying transgender is a gender. I feel like non-binary is a gender. When you saying that you want to not conform to gender norms, though, that's gender non-conformant, which is not a gender, that's another social structure. So you could be a trans woman and gender nonconforming, because trans woman is your gender, nonconforming is your social structure. I'm a trans woman, I may want to dress butch. I'm a trans woman, I may want to, but I'm still a trans woman, right? But when you say you're non-binary, this is the difference to me. When you're saying you're non-binary, that means this is my gender is I'm neither one of these two genders, so I'm nothing, or I'm everything, or however I don't want to be offensive, so I'm trying to. You're either nothing or everything, so that's non-binary, right? So that's a gender in and of itself. That's a gender separate from transgender woman or transgender man. That's transgender nothing or transgender everything, right? So I don't feel like you can say that you're non-binary and transgender, because to me, when you're saying you're transgender, that's a very binary decision. When you don't want to pick the binary decision, that's when you go to the non-binary category. So that's why I have a hard time when the people are like, I'm non-binary and I'm transgender. No, that doesn't work to me, because non-binary is also a gender. So that means I don't want to pick man or female, so I'm non-binary. Whereas transgender men or women, we are picking a gender. We just not picking the gender that we were assigned at birth. It's not the same, in my opinion.
Oh, you're not by yourself, sister. I mean, we all have an opinion, and just like the other people that have platforms that speak on. I'm the same way with you. You can't be trans and non-binary, because then I go back to, what's the point of being non-binary if you don't conform to male or female? So it is confusing.
Have either one of y'all noticed that the people, I would say a lot of the black folks who are, for all intents and purposes, buying into the non-binary,
Mm-hmm.
have either already crossed over or are trying to cross over into being more to broadening their audience, basically. Like, because I'm gonna just be real, like from what I've seen, and I know I hate to be this one, but non-binary and all that stuff is a lot more popular in the white spaces. Trans lesbianism is a lot more popular in the white spaces. Like the black and the brown communities are a lot more conservative, and more binary with things.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're trying to appeal to an audience they either don't have or they do have. Like Laverne has that audience. I don't know if Angelica's crossed over into, being well known with all with the white queer community as well, but it just seems like these aren't conversations that are meant for the black and brown people.
It just don't. And even for the white people, I mean, I don't know. I hate to say it, growing up in South Florida, even these things, and maybe what I'm going to say is offensive. And it is. But this is how I grew up in South Florida, so forgive me. We had all of this shit figured out in the late '90s, in the early 2000s, when I was out here in the clubs. We had all of this shit figured out. It was, you was a tranny, you was a punk or a faggot or whatever the horrible terminology you want to use for gay men, or you was a sissy, and all this non-binary, gender non-conformant shit falls into the sissy ass category.
Yeah.
And I understand now that people, those words were offensive, so people want to create new words to not create, want to redefine what the society knows us as or whatever, right? But I just feel like it was separate for a reason, and that was just so it wasn't any confusion, because each group has their own burden to bear in the whole rainbow flag, right? Like gay men, their burden is they are a man who is attracted to other men. It's not that their gender is confused, it's a sexual thing. With non-binary people and transgender people, it is your gender is confused, your brain and your body don't match, so you're trying to walk the life of trying to fix that. So I feel like each category is different and it's important in its own way. But for everybody to try to box this non, like, is Uncle Clifford now transgender? Because Uncle Clifford is to me what a non-binary person is.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you, Michaela, and you, Chris. since we're talking about this, do you feel like when you look at the LGBTQ, IA, element of P, and all of the above, that they keep adding on, so how do you put non-binary in that equation? Or do you feel that because it's been such a hot topic with as it regards to sports and trans people, bathrooms, women's spaces, do you feel like the cisgender community is really spearheading like the LGBTQ to switch it up and be like, okay, you're not a woman because you were born this way. So you need another category. And trans is just not fitting the bill anymore for some people because it's conflicting what your sex and what your gender is. So what do y'all feel? How does that go? Because it's really it affects people, and maybe you have the people who are in the white spaces, even though they are black. Because I never grew up saying this person was queer. I always felt like that was a Caucasian word.
Queer was a fighting word in South Florida. Queer was worse than being called a faggot. So
really.
yes,
The first time I actually heard about queer was the guy that got beat, Matthew Shepard.
that's why it
Years
was such an offensive word because that's
Me
what they were
growing up
calling
in the
them.
South, we heard fag, or we didn't even hear punk at the time. It was fag. That was the word in the black community. So we have evolved into where we are now, and it's like, where is this non-binary coming from?
Well, I just think not every so the letters keep getting added on to the alphabet because there are more and more people who don't fit in to specific boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And now we had the transgender binary people, and now there's a lot more. There's plenty of people that just don't fit into that box, and now it's the non-binary folks. And I think the real clash to me is the individuals who have devoted their lives to being binary and oftentimes heterosexual,
Mm-hmm.
and it's clashing up against the people who are just out and out just queer. Like this is a non-binary is a very queer thing.
Yeah.
Like they're not going for heterosexuality. They're not going to blend in or take part in the dominant society. A lot of the binary girls are like, no, we're over here. We are women, and we're going to be married, and we're going to do this and do that. And the non-binary people, let's just be real, when people outside look at them, that's a detriment to everything that a lot of the other girls have worked towards. Like you're trivializing my entire existence by sitting in the middle.
It's confusing.
Mm-hmm.
It's deeper than confusing,
and counterproductive to, like he said, the people have been trans all their lives, have worked.
It's because it seems like in 2025, Shayna, it's like the media wants to focus on that, and I feel like if it was more evenly, if you had the non-binary community, then you had the trans girls if it was the media was more equally divided, I think it would feel more equal. But it just feels like, okay, yeah, y'all just learned about trans women 5 years ago, and y'all done already moved from us to the non-binary girls and giving them all these damn shits. And it's like, y'all didn't even give us our due, bitch. It's like y'all just skipped over us completely, and it's like, the fuck. Moving on slightly, talking about adding all of these new letters and stuff to the LGBTQ community. Me, for whatever reason, on TikTok, I keep getting a lot of pushback from straight men who want to keep telling me that the men who date trans women are gay, right? And it just hit me one day, like, why do y'all want to yell at me or the other trans girl that the men who date us are gay? Stop having these conversations with us. It's enough of them around. Find them and have the conversation with them. Some are gay, some are bisexual, some are pansexual, some view themselves as heterosexual. I can't tell you how these men identify. It's going to be a case, but me telling this man this, that man wanted to jump back in. No, they gay, and you know they gay, and I'm just like, okay, sir, whatever, I give up.
But what
So
is bisexuality? Bisexuality is both sex. So you are both. You like, especially like I have a family member who is an in-law, but her brother is in a homosexual relationship with his boyfriend, but he sleeps with studs and and is about to have a baby with her. So what do you call
what?
that? Yeah. I just found this out today. So when we talk about gender and fluidity, why
Whew.
say the same
straight
about
straight
sex?
identified men who are attracted to studs just blows my mind. I just
I mean, they validate it by just like, hey, she's still a woman, so it ain't no problems. It don't
Yeah.
matter if she's a little
And the
masculine.
sister said he's always been with boys, but he always get him a little coochie every now and again. Like, so what is that considered then? Since we always like to put labels on things, and you look at the trans attracted man, like I don't want a trans attracted man that wants, and this is just me. I don't want a man that likes me that also likes, the butch queens in the community as well, because then it's like you just want everything. I mean, you already got to deal with it as a trans woman that a lot of trans attracted men, of course, deal with females. So then you add on that you like the butch queens as well. So I would just consider you a whatever sexual is called, because I don't get into all of those. But I like like men that are, they know they like trans women, and people so quick to call them chasers. But I mean, wouldn't you rather someone chasing you than nobody?
I mean, that's how I feel, Shayna, but that's just not how these especially these young ones. Man, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Um,
And we're also at a different time too. Like a lot of these young ones who pass as like females for real, and you really can't tell that they're trans. They've been on hormones since like way before they even hit puberty. So their mindset is in the times we're living in too. 40 years ago, you know, the trans girls was taking birth control, and you couldn't just get that easily. Like you had to have like a female
That's how I
friend,
started
sister,
my
cousin.
transition on birth control. It
You
truly
had to get
was.
it. You had to get it from somebody. So it
yeah.
wasn't accessible to start a transition, properly, adequately, going to a doctor, a healthcare professional. They have so much advanced now, so they really do, want the binary lifestyle, and they really do always believe it. That's not everybody though.
Mhm. So, Chris, I'm so sorry. I guess my question is, why do you think so many straight identifying men are so comfortable with telling trans women that the men who date us are gay, but they won't have conversations with you? Because I literally tagged you, I tagged a couple of other men in that post, and he said nothing to y'all. Y'all was
Yeah.
commenting under the post, and he wouldn't even respond to y'all. But to me, he still was attacking. So why do you think that's a? Is it they want us to know that we're men, so they want us to? I don't.
I mean, the society right now, I think there's a lot of people trying to put the trans community back in its place, because for
Mhm.
so long the trans community were others, outcasts, be over there and just be quiet, shut up. You can live, but just don't let us know you're living. Just be over there. Get out of my life. I don't want to hear about you. I don't want you trying to say that men like myself like you. And it's A, them trying to push y'all back down, and then B, it's trying to protect their identity as straight. The straight
Straight.
identity
Mm-hmm.
is something to be protected. And a lot of these things we're talking about, these are identities people have latched onto. Like I've made my whole identity around this concept of being straight. I made my whole identity around being a heterosexual binary trans woman. I made my whole identity around being just this. And it's just like when something new shows up that challenges that, you're going to get angry. A lot of people are getting upset because that identity that you latched onto a lot of times is like people looking at this like, man, this is all I got. Yeah, and first of all, I'm disrespected in society on this note and on that note. And now you coming for my manhood, and now what I am, what I've tied my identity to is now becoming less important. It's de-emphasized, like, how dare you? So this whole like attack on straightness that a lot of Black men are feeling, it can be a lot. It can be a lot. And even with Black women, you know, the attack on straightness, the straight Black men, like they're just they're doing everything they can to protect it. And it's kind of weird to put so much of your life and identity on just this like notion of being straight. So, I mean, I've been there. I'm just not there right now.
And I'm a direct correlation of seeing that hands-on when it comes to what I do. I deal with people who are HIV positive or have AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
And I have about 40 clients specifically, but we have over 300 in our agency. And the amount of heterosexual Black women and men is just as equal as the gays and the trans in where I work at. So, and then when you look at females, women, you got to think about it. A woman goes to the doctor more than a man does, female versus male. And when a female, I've had a lot of clients who found out they were positive when they went to the hospital because they were sick. And then they found out they were sick because they were pregnant. Men don't have to go to hospitals to find out if they're pregnant because they can't get pregnant. So it's more prevalent for a woman to know her status. So you get a woman who's pregnant with her husband, who's pregnant with boyfriend, husband, whoever, however, and find out that he has went outside the marriage and has slept with either another female or a male. Then you have the big discourse with females and trans women because they always think it's a gay disease and that is how it's getting spread. But at the end of the day, the trans woman and the gay male aren't sleeping with you. Your man in the bedroom who you live with is who you contracted it from. So that plays a big part in just lack of education, especially among the Black community, because the majority of my clients are Black.
Mm-hmm. And that is that.
And Chris, I'm trying. I swear, it's it's public on my end. I don't know why it's not public on your end. I'm trying to share it to it. It won't let me do it. Facebook is just acting really weird. I don't know.
Okay, it's cool.
And then you get the Black women be like, oh no, my man can never. I got a real man. What does that mean?
And I think it's so weird because it's like we have this whole prison culture in the Black community, right? And we all know what goes on in prison because there's so many jokes about it that everybody knows what goes on in prison. But if you claim you hate men who sleep with other men or who sleep with trans women, but you're constantly dating these men who are in and out of prison, yet we know what goes on while they're incarcerated. How does that even make sense? Do you think they're just jacking off them 10 years? Like, what's going on? Like,
well, none of this is logical. So I think we have to, we're using logic to reason our way through it, and it never makes any sense because it's all emotional. But one thing that I've said on my show, analyzing this, within the Black community is, like women say, like, no, he's a good Black man. He's, I got a good Black man, whatever, or I need a good Black man. A good Black man is a straight Black man, and a Black man who engages with trans women is not considered to be straight. And now we're moving into a space where that these men are being de-emphasized, and now we're second tier black men.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why so many men are so violent and angry about, no, I ain't gay, I ain't this, no, I'm regular straight, because it's like, hey, I don't want my manhood to be I don't want to be considered less of a man by anybody in my community, whether it's my mama or the women that are that I'm attracted to, my baby mama, whoever. Like, I don't want to be considered less than. And that's just something that a lot, not all of them, but a lot of my white peers don't have to really deal with that. That's very a specific, like, minority community kind of thing.
Yeah. And I say that about just trans women in general, or LGBTQ that are white. You know, you still have that privilege of being white that we don't have.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to. Society gives you space. And I'm gonna just speak as a man. Society gives you space as a man to, like, society affirms white manhood, and it really strips black men of that. And it's like, so then we have to get it in other ways, because society is beating us down. Society is not validating us. Society is emasculating us as men. A great example of that is obviously the way that we can't even protect our own homes against the police. Police officer comes, he's the one in charge. Like, we can't protect a black woman against police the way a white man can. That's just a fact. But that's the way the society is built. So it's just like, okay, well, my idea of manhood, this is all I got. The affirmation I get from my own community of being a valid, respected man, that's all I got. Society is not giving that to me. I got to get it from my own people. And now I'm going to lose it because they found out I like trans women, or they found out that, he did some shit in jail or whatever else. Like, it's just,
have the DL, then you have the DL type of man.
You know what? And that right there is,
well, hell, y'all making the perfect segue for, the next topic. Well, while we're talking about how society treats the black DL man so bad, and how everybody is so scared and so afraid of the black man, we have people out here who are romanticizing relationships with their white DL MAGA lovers, right? And date who you want to date, love who you want to love. I have no issue with that. But the issue I have, though, and I will always have this, is anti-blackness within the black community. And I just think it's, a lot of hypocriticalness when people preach, no, girl, don't date that black DL. Don't date that black piece of trade. He gonna kill you. He gonna run your credit up. He's gonna steal from you and rob you and do and whoop de whoop de whoop. But then in their real life, no, they're not with a black DL man. It's a white DL man who had them kept up and who giving them the fairy tale life. And it's just like, DL is DL. If you don't like DL and black men, why shouldn't you not like DL and white men too? Like, why is it okay to be a white man's secret but not a black man's secret? And
I think it's because it's a class situation. This all that resorts back to race and class. You can think about the girls on the block. You see a white man coming through, you're gonna jump on that because he has money.
That's the assumption through lack of proximity to whiteness. So because you don't really know white people like that, and you're not really around white people like that, you think white people got it. Like, the assumptions that you put on a white person are just different. And I've noticed that a lot about people that come from a lower socioeconomic background, that they put all of this prestige on whiteness. And then once they truly experience whiteness, they're like, oh, well, he's just as messed up as everybody else.
Of course. And
he might be more violent than everybody else.
The white people have more on social on the government benefits than the blacks. And of course, there's more whites, but yes, a lot of people on white people on welfare. But they make it look like it's a black thing or Mexican or Spanish person. But there's a lot of poor white folk in the world.
Yep. White supremacy has done a great job at brainwashing us into believing that white people got it better. I'm gonna be saved by this white person. I'm gonna be in a better situation if I deal with this white man. All this stuff, and it's like
You still in the same box. You might
yeah. And you know what? Black. I hear the same thing from black men. Oh, her credit gonna be better. She gonna really be there for me. She gonna be this. You ain't gonna have to deal with this or deal with that. And it's all very low level trash mindsets. Like I really don't like any of that kind of stuff. Like love who you love. I'm not completely against interracial dating, but like your reasoning for it should have nothing to do with putting down your own people.
Yeah. I love something dark and chocolate, baby. I don't really like the other colors. I barely like a light-skinned man. Give me something chocolate black. And I say that to say because my mom, I'm Creole. I'm from Louisiana. Currently live here. My mother's side of the family have all kinds of mixtures of everything in them. Like my grandmother, mother, they look like white women. On my dad's side, black is black. But all of the men on his side have married or only with white women. And when I look at them in life, they not doing no better than the ones that are just on black and black. So you are totally right. Like just because you're with a white person doesn't mean your life is just going to drastically change or be better. And I see that firsthand. Like I have white aunts. And they all have to go to work every day too. And they are a paycheck missing from being homeless.
And I want to say this to all of the divestors watching this. White men cheat financially, sexually. They can be domestic abusers as well.
Yes.
Like you are not safer because you're around a white man. Like that is pure anti-black mindsets. And what I really hate is a lot of the ones who really push the girl, get away from this black trade and these black men, this and this. They be the main ones talking about love the black girl, the whole society's anti-black, this and this, and they just be like so pro-black woman, and they just spend a whole lot of time on the internet just shitting on black men. And I'm like, you can't have one without the like you can't shit on one and then love the other. Black is black. These are your brothers, your cousins, your fathers. Like it's really a lot. Sorry, now I'm getting semi-triggered. I don't know.
No, you're good. And then that's one side, but then the other side of my thought process, and I agree with everything both of you all said. But then on the other side of my thought process, I'm like, but did she say anything to be canceled? Like, should we take away her whole career because she chooses to date who she chooses to date? Like, I can understand the disappointment in her dating people, but
does she still? Please help me clarify the story for me, because it was my understanding that this was a past relationship that she's now being public with, or she's still with the guy.
She's no longer with him.
Go ahead, Shayna.
She's no longer with him.
Okay.
What made her want to talk about it? I don't know, but Laverne looks...
Oh, I absolutely know what made her want to talk about it.
Because to me, she looks inebriated in these videos.
I think because she has a one-woman show she's doing, like going around the country doing at different like little local theaters, promoting, and she's doing one literally. I think it's either tonight or was it last night in New York, where she was supposed to tell the full story of this relationship. So I don't think Mama thought it was gonna get as much attention as because I mean, I think she thought like her couple thousand fans would have paid it attention, but I don't think she thought it was gonna go viral the way she thought it did. But with that being said,
why are people so triggered?
Why are people so what, baby?
triggered by her.
This is
Telling
what
a
I was
story
going to say.
about her past. We all have a past, and we've all dated
And
people who
that's
it
my
should
second point. As
not
much as
have. Or,
as much as I don't like what she said, I feel like people are using this as an opportunity to be like, aha, gotcha, bitch. Aha, I've been waiting for you to fuck up, ho. Aha, ha. They do that shit to TS Medicine all the time. It's like, okay, yeah, like, correct. Let's have a conversation. But like people are like, oh yeah, she said this and I unfollowed her and I unsubscribed to Netflix and I'll never watch Orange is the New Black and I'll never watch her. And I'm like, wait, okay, y'all taking it too. It's like with trans people, it's like we can't just be fuck up and just move on like everybody else. It's like because she did something, y'all just like now y'all want to take away this woman's whole livelihood, and it's like that's too extreme. Like that's not right. That's also transphobic because you wouldn't do it. Y'all don't do it to Funky Geneva. You don't do it to all the other people who say a lot of wild ass shit all the damn time. Like so it's like that's why I'm having my other mindset because it's like again, yeah, I don't agree with what she said, but I don't want y'all to be up here plotting to take away this black trans woman career. Like,
my whole thing is people are people have to tell their story, and everybody gonna always have assumptions about things. Maybe she's attracted to white men, and
oh,
when she,
that's clear.
you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not about wanting to be with a white man for a come up compared to I love him and I'm open to love from any race. Because I don't see the outrage with all these RuPaul drag race queens that are married to white men.
I don't think it's so much the whiteness when it comes. I think it's him being such a strong MAGA supporter, which I think.
mean, what is that? Is that a surprise though?
For Laverne Cox to be dating a white MAGA supporter, yeah, that was kind of surprising.
You would think
Like,
she might have dated him and then found out about it.
Oh, she
It
knew
might
though.
not be a topic of discussion when they first met because I'm sure he knew who she was.
oh, but Shada, I feel like we need to let Chris have the floor with this one because this is his other post that's going viral right now about yes, MAGA can be trans attractive, and he's.
Why can't they?
Well, I want to before I get to me and my level of experience with it. I think there's two things because I feel like we ran into the same thing with I keep forgetting that girl, Janet Mock. I think we ran into the same thing with Janet when she did what she did while she was working for Pose, and it's just like people really pushing back against the idea of holding prominent women in the community accountable. And for Laverne, we're all of society is looking at Laverne like, now you're smarter than this. What are you doing that for? You knew you shouldn't have been dating no MAGA white MAGA supporter, and the disappointment that you got ultimately from it, like, come on now, you're smarter than that. But also
a MAGA white supporter that was a New York City police
officer on top,
right there harassing people and shit.
That's a lot. I ain't even gonna do it. I'm not even gonna flare up on that. That's a lot. But what I will say is, in addition to that, she, just like a lot of famous black people, when you sign up to be a part of the machine, you are beholden to the machine. She is the singular black trans woman who has signed up to be a part of the machine. So now you're not beholden to just the black folks. You're beholden to all the white people, all the companies that endorse, sponsor, all this stuff. So it's kind of like when Kyrie Irving got in trouble for doing that Black Israelite stuff. He had to pay a price because the machine was like, oh, no, we're not with that. You got to pay. There is going to be backlash against you. People are going to protest you. You're going to lose some money. And with this one, it's just that the revulsion of all of the mainstream audience that she's gathered. Yeah, there's going to be a price to pay because this is what you wanted. You wanted to be a part of the machine, and you wanted to be beholden to all these other bits and pieces and communities. And that's right. T.S. Madison don't have to go through that. T.S. Madison can say that, and her views ain't gonna drop on her show
Mm.
because she hasn't crossed over in the same way that Laverne has. It's just a different. There are things that you agree to when you become famous.
I think for me, for Laverne, I hear that for me, that's not what it is. It's how political Laverne is. You're so political, leftist,
Mm-hmm.
po- polit, politicking for all of the Kamala and Joe Biden and sitting on all these people platforms and educating people on why they should vote a certain way so trans people can have rights and stuff while you're around here getting dick down by MAGA, like, and you was around here on these people talk shows and stuff, doing all of this stuff and going home and be like, oh, but it don't apply to you. Come bust this shit open. It's like that's, I guess, I guess
Yeah,
that's a lot of
it's
people.
hypocrisy,
She should have
and
kept
people are holding her
it
accountable
herself.
for the high levels of hypocrisy.
I think she should have
But
kept the story to herself.
yeah, absolutely, 110%.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um,
Especially how for me it's not about her whiteness, it's the anti blackness and it's the hypocrisy in the politics. For me it's like,
and
you know,
I've seen other black content creators use this story to validate dating white conservative men. Like, well, there are good things about dating white conservative men,
I've
and I'm
seen
like,
other
whoa, what?
trans black content creators like, don't jump on my sister because it's not like this great pool of men out here dating us. And it's like, this is the bullshit I'm talking about with y'all girls. It's like, how can y'all make that point when let it have been anybody, let it have been Miss Netta, somebody who y'all feel like it's okay to jump on her throat. Let it have been some girl that y'all don't like. Y'all would all be having 3 hour long panels about how could she be black and trans and dating a MAGA supporter? How could she be black and trans and dating somebody who's no a cop who's out here harassing people? And, like, but because it's Laverne who I understand, because even me, I don't want to jump down Laverne's throat with this, but it's like it's hard not to because it's like the high level of hypocrisy, and then it's like also it's like, and then it's also like, bitch, I'm a celebrity, so don't say nothing about it because if y'all talk about it, then no black, like, no, Laverne, like, you dating this MAGA is what's holding the black trans people back, not us talking about you fucking MAGA, like.
Yeah.
I mean, she could have just been a regular actress.
No,
You
like
didn't have to be political.
I don't go hard for, and it's not to take away from her, but I'm more of a T.S. Madison girl than a Laverne girl. So I
Hmm.
really didn't look into all of this with her, but I can also be funny and understand too. Mama was trying to get a come up,
Fair enough.
And that's
you
the
know.
sad part, Shayna. I think Mama was trying to get a come up, not with dating the MAGA guy, but trying to tell this story. I think she thoroughly thought this story was going to somehow be like a come up or this meeting of the minds or
Social
so,
status. But the
Is it
thing is,
possible this never happened?
no, I think I know exactly. You remember, Chris, it was about 3 years ago. Laverne was in New York in the park, and then some man had clocked her tea, and then she
Mhm.
was with this white boy, and he ended up fighting the man, and then the paparazzi started taking pictures of the fight. So then when they figured out that the paparazzi was there, the white man ran off and left Laverne out there in the park all by herself, like. And then so everybody was like, "What happened to the man that was fighting you?" Then she started protecting his identity, and she wanted to change the story. I think that's who she was with at that time, and I think that was around the same time period. So, and if that's the truth, that's even more sadder because literally, you're Laverne Cox. Some man clocked your tea, and this man defended you in public, and y'all had to cover this story up, but you didn't even file a police report because you didn't even want his identity to be revealed from some damn man attacking you. Like, and
That's
that's the
crazy.
other part of it that this is really blows me. If we're just talking, we're just going as a black trans woman who looks up to a like a Laverne Cox type of a woman who's like, bitch, you made it. Like you on TV, you're walking the red carpet. Like I'm not counting your pockets, but I know you made a lot of money. I don't know if you were able to hold on to the lot of money you made, but I know you've made a lot of money. And you're telling me that you still are in the closet to some fucking cracker? Like that shit just blows me. That shit just blows me. Like
Okay, we're gonna say Caucasian.
I'm so sorry, but that shit just
George
blows.
Jefferson,
That shit
honking.
that shit blows me. You telling me you like it's you and T.S. Madison at the top of the trans black community, in my opinion, right?
Mhm.
Like, and you telling me you bitch is still sitting around here dipping and diving and tipping toeing because you don't want to. You
But I also could say that too, like they are the top of the train because they're visible when it comes to entertainment. But they
Hmm.
don't mean nothing to my local community. Like there's a trans who's got her doctorate at Tulane and really is doing stuff in Louisiana that I look up to as well. So I would just say that they are visible trans women in the entertainment world or online or however you put it. But it's like, okay, Michaela, me and you are a trans woman, and Chris, you're trans attracted. It's a time and a place for everything. And I think once you get older, you start realizing self actualization, self care. I can't be with anyone who's in the closet of DL. Maybe 20 years ago, when I was younger and 20 years old and was having my sexcapades with the DLs, it was fun because it was new or whatever. But after 20 years, and you can't go to the grocery store with me or you can't walk in the park with me, I don't accept that anymore. So you would think a girl of her status wouldn't have to deal with that.
Yep. You would think.
especially from no damn cracker. No offense to the white people out here who's listening. It's no young cracker. Not even a rich old white man who got money, but a young broke ass police officer. Like, come on, Laverne.
Especially New
Yeah.
York police officers, because I've been hurt about them being dirty.
I mean, the job itself is bad. There are good people who happen to
Absolutely.
be police officers, but the job itself is bad.
Yeah.
There's nothing redeemable about the job that they're asked to do and how they have to do it. So, I mean, I would never. Yeah, that's just my stance on it. I'm very much
And
not into that.
that's a machine in itself.
Yes, it is absolutely. But the
You live in Hollywood, Laverne.
yeah,
You could have been DL for fucking Robert Downey Jr. You could be DL for fucking the guy who played Thor. Like,
Or
I don't.
or Michael B. Jordan,
athlete,
whoever, you know.
like
Michael
you're
B. Jordan.
a player or something.
I think Michael B. Jordan like the boys. He might. Whatever. That's neither here nor
Okay, yeah,
there.
we ain't gonna. All right, I'm gonna
We
leave
definitely.
that man alone then. But you know what? It's this is actually a really good segue because okay, this man is white. He's conservative. You know, he's a MAGA supporter. All this stuff, which is all very very bad. None of it is good. But I just think like the video that I made was really about my own journey because at one point I was heavily conservative. Like I even volunteered for a Republican governor, U.S. Senate campaigns. Like I was there, I was making calls on their behalf. I was walking I was knocking doors. I listened to I listened to all the people on the EIB network, the Rush Limbaugh, the Mark Levins of the world, my own local conservative people I listened to. I was very much like conservative. And you know, so I'm just saying like there is redemption for this man if he wants it. He can change, he
Oh, I
can
had
grow,
this. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry,
and
Chris.
he can grow into something, into a better person, a better human being, somebody who has a lot more empathy, who has a lot more a wider breadth of life experience and more understanding. And you know, so the growth is possible for him. And that's really what I did my video about, because it was like, I was that, and being that, those conservative men, you compartmentalize so much. You draw, okay, I believe in conservative values and all this other stuff. And I'm drawing the line, I'm putting up a border wall, and then I got all my trans attraction stuff over here. And none of this disturbs this stuff over here. And these are two different things that live independently of each other. But this wall is going to keep them separate, so I can maintain my conservative identity and be like, yeah, that's right, yeah, and then still have my fascination, desire for trans women, and I don't feel like one conflicts with the other. I don't feel like I'm doing harm to anything trans, because I'm not actively out there yelling at anybody, beating up anybody, doing anything in my day-to-day life. Meanwhile, all the politicians I support are nothing but harmful to the trans community. So it's just like, they don't make that connection that they are actually doing harm, and they don't make that connection that they don't understand that they have a lot more to learn, because conservatism requires the word be broken down into ones and zeros. It has to be very simple, because a lot of those arguments don't stand up once you start digging a few levels deeper and you start speaking about the breadth of human experience. Everything has to be simple. So for me, the turning point was just growth. Once I got out of my bubble, soon as I moved out of Wisconsin, I'm born and raised in Milwaukee. I left and really started to
I heard it was
just
a little
see more.
Milwaukee too.
Say what?
I heard it was a little hood in Milwaukee.
Oh, it's very ratchet. It's basically Memphis, but in Wisconsin.
Okay, I heard of that.
Oh, somebody told me it was basically the suburb of Chicago. Like, however you feel about Chicago, they just travel that shit an hour up north to Milwaukee and carry that bullshit on in Milwaukee.
I was always told it was ratchet like Memphis or Detroit.
It is. It's a very poor city, highly segregated. Highly segregated. So it's a problem. But I was raised in a church and all that stuff, and Church of God in Christ, very, very conservative. And
I'm in Baton Rouge. We ratchet too.
There you go.
If by so everybody, sports and LSU always brings everybody together. The same with the Saints, but we still in the deep South, high crime, and it'd be like sometimes you just got to get away from it. But then it's like my family is here. My parents have both passed, so it'd be like I leave. I don't have my sisters and them here anymore. My brother, my cousins, my nieces, people that are around me. That's the only reason why I've never left. But sometimes you got to elevate, and that involves moving.
Yeah. Well, I'm at a point where I want to move back with family or be back around family now. But a lot of my family's in Atlanta, so I'm really trying to make a move from Houston over that way.
And I have a lot of friends in Houston, but I always felt like Houston was not for me. Because it was just like, for one, it's 3.5 hours away, but for two, it's so goddamn big. And, I just don't want that big of a big change. Like, I would prefer like Austin or San Antonio.
Growing up in Miami, living in Tallahassee, I like Tallahassee because it's way, way, way the fuck smaller than Miami. But I could always live in a big city because I grew up in a big city. I couldn't imagine living in the boondocks somewhere like, oh.
So where's Broward County?
Oh, it's right. That's right above Miami. I mean, when I say I grew up in Miami, I grew up in Broward, but people don't know where the hell Broward. Yeah, that's Fort Lauderdale area.
When I went to Miami, I liked Fort Lauderdale more than I liked Miami.
Oh yeah, because it's a way, way. I mean, not now. I don't know. In 2025, it's the same. It's just one big non-continuous city now. Like it's crazy.
Because when I first went to Houston, and my friends who moved from Baton Rouge, I have 4 friends who all have moved throughout the last 10 years there, and we went to I think they were living on the Westheimer area. That's going towards Katy, but then they got a north side, and it took like 45 minutes. I was like, are we still in Houston? I was like, this is just too big for me. It's just
Yeah,
too big.
Houston. I like Dallas more than Houston.
Oh, boo. Dallas is whack. Dallas is like Houston right now is basically, and I'm just talking about like nightlife and just like culture and things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Houston is very close to like Atlanta in maybe 2008, 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Like it isn't at the height of the whole crunk movie, but it's still lit.
Yeah.
And we're reaching a point where the government and people are going to start cracking down on all the nightlife stuff because it's just way too live here. Not too live for me. I love it, but residents are starting to complain. Stuff is starting to get shut. They're going after hour spots now, and it's a whole thing. But Houston just got a lot of texture. It's still real. Dallas is a lot more sanitized and like corporate-y and just like straight.
Yeah, I think I like that.
Yeah,
more.
straight and narrow, but like Houston just it's dope. It's dope. And you know, I mean, you could get away from it. You could be out there in the, you know, Pearland, Sugarland.
And you still want to leave?
Huh?
And you still want to leave?
Well, I'm just ready to be around family.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. It's like I just have more friends, more family, more support in Atlanta. And I worked at television for about the last 20 years, and I'm just tired of moving around the country, working at this TV station, working at that TV station. It's been a great adventure, but I'm ready to be around, you know, people I know and love, and instead of just being out on an island by myself.
Yeah,
that's true.
Anyways, yeah. So
and when you start thinking about those long-term goals and situations, because we get older.
And
and that leads. That's a great segue to my final thing I wanted to talk to y'all about. That I will let y'all go. Is it's this thing going on in the trans community about like a lot of the girls who are like my age. I'm 43. I'm going to be 44 this year. Praise the Lord. That is like, you know, we're the first generation of girls who the younger girls actually saw us live this long, and like there's a lot of us in our 40s. Like when I grew up, it was very rare to meet a trans woman beyond the age of 30 years old. Like, and it was like, what happened to all the girls? Yeah, they die. Like that's what the fuck happened to their asses. They die. Like they get caught up with the STDs and HIV and die that way, or trade get them on the scroll that gets them that way. So a lot of these older girls have this expectation of us that we are failing the community because we are the leaders that they expected. Like they're like, y'all 40-year-old trainee asses still out here trying to be city girls and still trying to post ass and still trying to do this and chase the trade. Like, no, bitch, y'all supposed to be the mothers guiding us and shit. Like, yeah, we lost it because hell, y'all asses out here doing the same shit we doing. Like, I'm taking lines of coke with my gay mama in the bathroom. Like, she ain't teaching me shit. Like, and beforehand, I think in our generation, we were being led by, let's say I was 17, my gay mother was somewhere like 29, 30, right? But still younger, right? But we're the first generation we're 40. We should do better as older LGBTQ leaders, but we are the first generation that lived this long, so we have no experience on how to do this. How do y'all advise the older generation of trans community to advise the younger generation of trans communities? Because the girls are saying they are looking to the older girls for advice, but we have nothing to give their asses but sex work and the same shit they do it, but in an older body. Like opinion.
I would think, you have to look at it as a generational curse. And you can say that in the Black community, period. But when you specifically point towards trans women, who were our leaders and who did we look up to when we were these children, the new age girls age? My very first gay parent was not even a trans woman. It was a gay male. So we was at a deficit then because he can't tell me how to become a woman. He maybe knew how to go and get to someone, but like you said, the trans girls wasn't trying to be gay mothers. They was a lot of them was on the stroll,
Mm-hmm.
or traveling, to make them coins. Because you got to think about it. At that time, the girls wasn't going to get corporate jobs and in school and doing the things now like that we are or the new generation. So that's just like your regular parent. How can there's no handbook to being a parent? So how is no handbook of a trans woman, trying to what you do is you try to do better than the norm so that it is getting these positions and not having to do sex work. But so many of the girls still do it. So I don't know, Michaela. That question is kind of like I didn't learn how to be a trans woman. It was basically I had to live my life and experience things. But I also always had a drive to get an education. I didn't look.
Mm.
It was no trans woman. Hell, barely went people in my family that could tell me to go to college and get this degree and get that degree and get this license because they didn't have it. So it's
Mm.
like you can't equip the next generation to have certain tools when you don't even have those tools.
Facts. Facts.
I am not going to dictate to the women above 40 on how they should do it. I will just, I guess I will. I don't know. I just spent a lot of time talking to like a lot of young people. And, it's, I guess, like from talking to younger people, like I was talking to this girl and not romantic or nothing like that. I like to sit in a lot of space and to just hear what people have to say and what are some of the mindsets going on out there. And there was this young girl, she was like 23, and she was just like she said sex work is a necessary part of transness. It's like a rite of passage. That's how she looked at it. And I'm just like, well, I'm sorry to hear that from the young girl because, I think all the young people have potential to do a lot, to do whatever. They have more potential to do whatever they want, despite how bad Trump is now.
Mm-hmm.
You still got more
Yeah.
options than people had in 2001, 2003.
Absolutely.
And
Like, I mean,
I
even
graduated
under this Trump administration, I've seen more girls get regular jobs. It may not be like the highest paying jobs, but I've just seen more girls
let's get you.
working than I've ever seen in life. Like,
And it's well, I think so. It's two things that if there are other women above 40 listening to this, I would love for them to consider, at least the girls who are visible. Because I think that's the big difference. Y'all are visible, whereas Gen X wasn't visible. Gen X was like,
mhm,
fuck this, I'm riding off into the sunset. I done got my little surgery and I'm out. Peace.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody
true.
gonna hear from me again.
That's
But
very
really
true.
it's normalizing that, like, I guess emphasizing that it's normal for for women to live past 40 now.
Yeah.
And it's like in that you need to plan for your future. And then a step beyond that is being completely honest about the mistakes you made. I think the young
Mm-hmm.
people can really learn from a lot of the downsides, like honest conversations of the downsides of sex work, or just some of the mistakes that you might have made in your own transition. Like, you know what, when I used to think like this and I was completely wrong. Like I just think your lived experience is something that the younger people could really benefit from because, I've been around, I've dated a few girls over 40 and I'm just like, I hear their stories and it's just like, wow. And then I hear some of the younger people talking. I'm like, man, they could really benefit from hearing because y'all are thinking this one way, but we got a whole community of older people that can tell you it's completely different and they have lived it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that so I guess that's my perspective from the outsider looking in and just seeing the different groups not interact, but the different groups by themselves. It's like, man, they could really benefit from you, even though I know that and it's not going to seem like they want to listen, and they may not even follow your advice off rip.
Yeah,
That's a big part of being a life coach, a mentor, is understanding that when you tell young people something, you try and save them from something, they probably gonna still run into that wall. But you tried, and just keep on trying.
And I also understand the age gap because, like, when you were younger, you didn't look up to 40-year-olds. You looked up to people who was like 25 and 30 because even though they were older than you, the age gap wasn't so big that they still could relate. Like, I just think, like, when you're 43 and you're telling a 21, don't do this and don't do it, sounds like you're lecturing and it doesn't
Yeah.
sound helpful. It's just, you just got to talk to. Hell, half these damn babies, they just want somebody to talk to. And you just don't even give them advice, just listen. And then, you know, they'll come through it or they won't. Shit. Life happens. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for one is people are mind readers. So for the Gen X crowd, you got to ask for some help first. Because
That's true
sometimes you're
too.
not going to give. Some girls at a later age in life have some horror stories that they may not want to indulge in. But
And I
like
think
for
that's
me,
also a thing too, Shayna. I think our generation, the generations before us, we aren't as open as this younger Gen X, Gen Z. They're very open. They're very so willing to tell stories. Like when them girls when Trade try to fight them, they're on social media the next day telling the story. Like back in our day, a girl used to get her ass beat by the damn Trade in the streets. You may have never known, or she don't ever want to talk about it, or when it happens, she may move to the next city, so nobody would know. Like we had a lot
yeah,
more
yeah.
shame over the stuff that happened to us than this generation. These girls have. I'm not gonna say no shame. It's like they actually value themselves, so they value when shit happens to them, and they want some accountability for when things happens to them. So
Well, for one, it's platforms to be able to discuss these things,
that's true too.
and for two, there are
They
better
do have
parents,
a community.
that
Like
know how to navigate it because religion was so big back in our day. So you were a feminine man growing up, or started wearing mama. She caught you with her hair or curling
I'm
on,
glad
or
you said that, Shayna, because that
putting
reminded
certain
me of something
stuff
we talked
on.
about earlier.
You were kicked out the house at 14. So
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
it was a get it how you live type of situation, and that I feel like not all, but it's not as congruent with the generation now, because a lot of people are more open and inviting and have gotten away from those strict religious ideas that a lot of our generation had to go through and deal with. You can't be in this house. I'm not gonna have no fag or no this or no this in the home. And
Correct.
that's trauma. That's trauma for a lot of the people our age.
Correct. And going back
So
to something we talked about earlier, Shannon, and to defend my auntie Laverne, it's a lot of y'all who are being mad hypocrites when y'all can't understand how Laverne Cox could date somebody who support MAGA, but y'all asses up here who dating the damn church pastor bitch who's preaching every Sunday that y'all better burn in hell. So what's the difference? If
and
you
he
could
and he got goddamn three a wife and three girlfriends and churn out of wedlock and all of the above. So
So
Mm-hmm.
that's very. Ooh, I'm so glad you said. So what's the difference if you can sit up there and fuck somebody who's in the pulpit every night, every Sunday, preaching to the community that you finna burn in hell? What's the difference from her dating MAGA who actually believes you finna burn in hell? Like, what's the difference?
because it's the black people that is abusing you. It's like, how dare you with the white people? They are the enemy. No, your own kind be the enemy most of the time as
A
well.
lot of the damn time, especially when it
Yeah.
comes to, and this is again why I have because I can't understand, especially being black and queer, especially when you're black and queer and have a little bit of coin and a little bit of status, and you know, Laverne is a target to the black community. Like, and we just have to call a thing a thing. Like, and I'm so sorry to move the conversation back there, but that just hit me when she said the church thing. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, what's the difference between white MAGA cop and super angel? Oh, I can't even say the word.
Evangelical.
Thank you, friend. Christian black church person who feels the same way. Like, everybody is struggling, and you choosing to which struggle you want to deal with, I guess.
Well, I don't think you have to choose a struggle to begin
Absolutely.
with. I think that's when they were like, oh, well, we don't have anybody else. Like, who else can we date? I mean, especially at our age, like, Laverne ain't no spring chicken either.
Hell no, she's in
So
her 50s, isn't she?
yeah, you ain't no spring chicken either. So it's really one of those things. It's like at this point in life, just hold out for something that's truly exceptional. Like, don't waste your time on trying to fit the square peg into the round hole. A man or a woman that is truly special, they don't come around every day. So, staying strong, holding your standards,
maybe
and not, compromising and wheeling and dealing, and you're just wasting your time. So yeah, he wasn't perfect. Yeah, he wasn't this. Wait until somebody is a little bit more right for you. Like, you don't have to jump at, you don't have to jump at every. I'm not saying she's jumping at everything. It's just, when people are like, oh, well, what other options do we have? Everybody has better options.
Some people
just hold out.
Some people can't be alone. They just have to have.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
Because I see it in different spaces, just with even heterosexual people. I got one friend. She's always in a relationship. It's like we are in July, and I think she's on board number 3, just in a year. And then talk to her and be like, girl, ain't you tired? You need to be by yourself. Well, girl, I just can't. How you know if it's the right one if you don't try? You mean that's a lot of trying. And then I say all that to say, like, to bring it back to our initial conversation, like, because I don't know. I'm sorry, Chris. I don't know a lot of your content, but you being a trans attracted man, when did you tell people that, and how did that come about?
So I'm not going to name everybody's names in this. I'll just say I had a friend who was also a content creator, and she's out there. People know her pretty well, but she had me at she had me see her friend who was clairvoyant, and I do believe in that clairvoyancy, and I think it would be silly for me to believe that only Christians have gifts to discern certain things. I think there are a lot of people who have gifts, they're just not Christian, and some are and some aren't. So but this woman, I was talking to her, and she was just like, I'm hearing the spirits are telling me, like, hey man, sooner or later you got to pick a side. You're trying to stand on the fence. You got to pick a side. So, once that point hit, I went full tilt, because I used to have a wall up. Like, okay, this is my life. Like, I had a podcast a while ago, my first one, and I just kept that world separate from my personal Facebook page, and I didn't. All the people I knew in that space, they weren't on my personal page, and I tore down the wall. And before I did all of that, I had a conversation with my mom, because y'all know, because I got all the people from the church, all the people from my old neighborhood I grew up in on my Facebook, and y'all know church people gonna talk, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna talk to my mom before anything gets out there. I'm gonna have a conversation with her, so I let her know so that she wouldn't find out through gossip in the church. And it was a very emotionally trying conversation for her. I actually did a whole episode detailing that entire conversation. And some hurtful things were said, and it was not great, but that was the impetus for me to really make that final leap to fully integrate, to get me started on the path to living in my truth. I I can honestly say it wasn't nothing but God. It was a really chance encounter. This guy found me on Reddit, and he was just like, "Yo, bro, like we should talk to you. You like trans women too?" Like I'm like, "The fuck, this dude's weird. Like what the hell?" But we ended up being friends, and we ended up playing video games together, and we had great conversation, and we ended up starting a podcast because our conversations we thought were dope at the time when they, yeah. But actually, he was like 5 years into his relationship at that point. He's married now, but they had been together for 5 years, and like being in proximity to somebody, seeing somebody actually do it, I'm like, wait, so you can just do that? You can just be in a relationship? Like this is real? Well, I want that too. So let me start down the path. And it was really his example that got me to move on and get out of my DL-ness and, you know, being cloak and dagger with everything.
Oh
Oh,
well,
Chris, when you said that,
so good to. I commend you and thank you for sharing that part of your story because it directly correlates to trans women and the relationship between trans attracted men compared to DL men with us. And
mm-hmm,
as I get older, I like a man that be like, I like my girl. She's different. She's this. And I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I wish all the men were like that. But we live in a world where we can't always get what we wish. So it's like weeding out those men that, my whole thing is being a trans woman is I had to come out at one point in time, even if people knew or didn't know, of just liking men when I was younger. And then I had to come out again to be a trans woman and start living that way. And I
mm-hmm.
feel like dealing with a DL man just puts me right back in a box or a closet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so hard to date now because, yeah, you might look nice, but then if you're not comfortable with who you are, I could never trust you now. And I might not always
Mm-hmm.
had that mindset 15, 20 years ago. So I'm like Nisha. I don't like people. I like to be alone. Yeah, I like to be alone. I like peace, but I'm not lonely, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes complete sense. So, Chris, how do you like if a guy is, coming into the community, trying to learn all the vocabulary, trying to do everything right, but it's still, you know how the girls is. I know how the girls is. The girls, as soon as you say you like trans women, now you are a pariah in the community and you're just chasing all the girls, right? What is your best advice for, a younger guy who's just trying to find his attraction? So in his mind, if I like the girls, let me go to where the girls be at and be in these trans spaces. So then when they go to these trans spaces, the girls are like, "You just a chaser. You just want to put dick in your ass. You nasty. I
And
want
once
a real man. A real man don't like trannies." You
and
know how the girls act. You know how
do
the
you
girls act.
Oh
what
my
they call
God.
INs, do you think they're a little more accepting of coming out as trans attracted compared to the old school men?
Good question.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
Like the YNs, the young ones.
Uh-huh.
And we have platforms now in some spaces like what you have created or just being trans more visible. Do you think the younger crowd of men are a little more accepting? I say that like a 20 somebody who has no children, maybe no older than 25 is more susceptible to dating long term than say a man who's married, who has a family of 4 kids, 3 of them are like older now, compared to how it was back in the day cuz I felt like a lot of the Johns or the trans attracted men were a little older or really live a straight life. And now you have the young ones because I've been approached by a 19-year-old, y'all. Yes, I'm 40. And I've been approached by a 19-year-old and I'm like, "Well, who do you live with?" "I live with my sister." And I'll be like, "Well, what does she know about you?" Because you just always have to ask questions. And he was like, "Yeah." So I was kind of
Yeah.
shocked. He was a nut. But I'm just saying, do you see more younger guys like being a little more forthcoming compared to the older?
Um, I would say the difference between the young guys today and the young guys of yesteryear is that there's, what do they call it? There's lower stakes. Like they're not trying to wipe somebody up. They're just trying to date and have fun, and it's just not as serious. So it's like how they approach a relationship compared to a man in his 20s in 2005, just completely different animals. Like, and it's, I guess what I am seeing with the younger guys is you will see. I'll just say what I'm not seeing. I'll just say that much. What I'm not seeing is a pursuit of knowledge and a pursuit of actual growth. And this is something that you get in, I'll just call it the early stages. Because in the early stages, people really they feel like they know it all, or they feel like they don't need to know anything new. Like, oh, whatever, I'll just treat her like a regular girl, and this, and this. I don't need any other considerations. So that means they're not understanding dysphoria. They're not understanding certain parts of the transition that they may need to be sensitive to, like, or just the overall basic pieces of the transition that they should probably be knowledgeable about. Yeah. And then understanding that compared to the girl that they're dealing with and her specific issues regarding her transition, because everybody's different. Everybody has different insecurities and pain points. So it's just like the ignoring of all of that just to have fun, and oh no, trans girls are great, and this, and this. And it's like you're doing all of this, but with no knowledge and no thirst to know anything real. And if a young man came to me today and was like, hey, man, what should I do? How should I do it? X, Y, and Z. I mean, I would point them down that road. I would not tell them to be relationship oriented. In your early 20s, it just does not serve you to be relationship oriented, because, okay, now, and I've seen this with some of the younger guys in my group. Okay, you're relationship oriented. You want to find the one. You want to settle down. You want to be all these things, but none of the girls your own age are about that shit. They're not about that life in their early 20s. They just got these new magical powers that have crazy control over men, and it's just like they're learning this out. They got to go have your fun, and y'all can all grow up together and maybe figure it out in your 30s, probably 40s. But it's just like showing up and being advanced already. You're ahead of the game, putting the cart before the horse, and you're not going to have a good time if you're looking for monogamy and stability and you're 27, 26, and you want girls your own age.
Oh, you're going to have broken hearts. You're going to have broken hearts.
Yeah.
And when people go through those things, then it shuts them off from ever even opening up to continue to try to find love and to try to find companionship.
And I've seen a lot of guys give up. They give up and like, fuck this. I'm going back to cis women. I'm not doing this anymore.
I've seen
they
that
quit.
So much.
Or the ones that be like, well, when did you start dating trans women, or did you just sleep with them? Like, you have to ask them questions. A lot of them say, I just wanted something different.
There is that too, you know, people, and that's, I don't know, that's the unfortunate side of things. But for the young guys, what I've seen from the younger guys is they come in and they want to move. They want to move as if they're still dating cis women, and that's where the rub is, and that's where the broken hearts are, because a lot of cis, especially, you know, a lot of cis men in their 20s, they get married. So if you're sitting there seeing all your boys from college get married and like, well, I want to get married, I want something real, but the girls ain't ready for that at 27. They just, she only been a woman for 3 years. Or she only been a woman forever, however long. Like, not everybody's doing the teenage transition.
Yeah.
And it's just like, the girls need their time to figure out what kind of woman they're going to be, figure out their own identity. And I think, you know, the men got to figure that out themselves. So I tell them, like, okay, they may call you a chaser. They may call you this, and this. And you know what I noticed, though? Like, the chaser and all the stuff you saying earlier, Michaela, they don't say that to the men they want to fuck. The niggas that got a body, that got a big dick, that's handsome, Oh no,
And
they're none of those negative things, and they'll run roughshod through the community. And do I
let me
have
tell
one
you,
or two guys in my group that does that? Yeah,
and let me tell you
yeah.
something, Chris. And you say the girls find a new superpowers where at my job there's like 3 trans women who live on property at the hotel, and like 2 of them are in relationship
Mhm.
with these younger guys. And I'm telling you, these young men who know they like trans women, they also now have a superpower because, baby, when I say they sit up there and they know the community
Mhm.
and they know how to play in the community. Like, I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
difference between these younger guys and the older guys. It's like these older guys, they were players, they did what, but they had to come across the girls. They had to learn the community, or they were like, oh, like older trans attracted butch queens who kind of like lived in the club and like went to all the pageants and went to all the balls and knew everybody, right? But these
Mhm.
younger boys, they follow all the girls on Facebook. They follow all the social medias. They be in all the clubhouses. They be in all the Twitter spaces. They sit back and know, and they run ramshot through the community. Oh, they just be fucking and sucking everybody. Like, and the
Mhm.
girls just be like, I don't know, I don't, and I just be looking like,
Well, I think the new dynamic that's confusing a lot of people, and I actually welcome this. I think it's about damn time. There's an equalizing that's happening
oh
where
yes,
the men are starting to have just as many options as the girls. Because you know, it used to be a time where
more,
okay,
more.
I'm the only trans woman you know, so you don't really have options like that, and you can't move like because the girls. I got a guy here. I'm dating this guy, but I got 2 other niggas I'm fucking with, or 3 other niggas I'm fucking with. And he can't have like one trans girl and then like 3 other trans girls he fucking with. But that's what they're doing now because they've infiltrated in a way and they've kind of equalized that experience where it's like, hey, we got just as much access to y'all as y'all do to us. And it used to not
Mm-hmm.
always be that way.
Who them little JetBlue and them little what's the little Spirit airline flights across the country? Them people be on it, honey.
Hey, JetBlue is a fine, fine airline.
It is.
I'm sorry, it's my
It's,
favorite.
I've only,
I like
I've
it
only,
better than Delta.
I've only flown. I have only flown Southwest.
I've never flown South. I think I've only flown Delta or
I like that
JetBlue.
they're adding assigned seats to Southwest. I hate that mad dash to find a seat,
Yeah,
Mm,
but I hate they're getting rid of the free check luggage. That's some
I
BS.
know. Oh, I know.
I
This is the
know.
last time I used them.
Yeah.
Oh, and trans women, it's getting better. I think we're gonna be able to
It
travel
is.
again. We're gonna be able to travel again. Like a lot
Mhm.
of the shit that Trump put in place, the courts are like, yeah, bitch, you can't do that.
Mhm.
So I think we're gonna be okay. I think we're gonna be
I'm
okay.
traveling fun. I don't give a damn.
Michaela, can I bring up one thing?
Sure.
Because it was something Shayna had said, and it was just like, I feel like I need to say something about this. And it was nothing bad, Shayna, but you were like, when we were talking about Laverne Cox, and you're like, yo, I want somebody who actually fucks with me
Mm-hmm.
and like who likes trans women and this, and this. And you know, an issue that a lot of the men in these spaces, young and old, have been running into is like, okay, I'm showing up and I like you. I like everything about you. I love that. I even like the fact that you're trans, and I value you as a woman, and you're gonna be my queen, and you know, you hold this high stature. Like I think so highly of you. And it's like we get to that point, and there's not always, but a lot of times there's issues because a lot of the girls don't really like the fact that they're trans. And they don't like themselves as much as the men who show up
Mm,
like them, like, hey, yo, I love you. Like, yo, we're dope. What's up? And then they be like, but why do you like that so much? I don't even like that I'm trans. Like, what the fuck? You're a
mm,
weirdo now. And it's just like, you
Self
try
hate.
to engage in a relationship with these people and it ends up being you run into issues
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, there's just a mismatch there for whatever reason. And that's just I don't know how we fix that. I'm just saying like it's just it causes problems in relationships. when the man fully accepts the woman for her transness, but she's still struggling with accepting herself fully. Like you
Right.
can say you have, but
That's that self-hatred, and that also affects like the abuse and the things you did. Sometimes you have to go through some therapy. It's not
mm,
always about looking like the fish and feeling like
Mm,
the fish, but you're a complete basket case on another hand.
absolutely.
that's real.
I think the reason is because I don't think it's that a lot of girls dislike the fact that they are trans. I don't think a lot of girls are trans, and I think eventually those girls detransition. And I think it's that, especially now in 2025, a lot of people jump on trends. Like for me, when I was a young girl, like it took a long time for me to finally come to the conclusion that I think I'm a girl. Like it was like, no, bitch, you're a gay. You gonna be gay, bitch. Like we're already gay. Like why do we want to take it to this damn extreme? Like, and then it was like, okay, girl, like this gay shit ain't really like. We're 19 and we don't like gay people. Like, this gay shit ain't what it is, girl. Like, come on, like, just do it. And then, but with these girls is fuck that. I feel like I'm feminine, so I must be a trans woman, right? I feel like I'm a queen, so I must be a trans woman. Let me throw some hair on, let me throw some bundles on, and then you see it. You see it. They be like, I'm a boy, I'm a boy. Oh well, I'm non-binary. Well, no, actually, I'm a girl. I'm and then he's like, oh, okay. In 5 years, they're gonna detransition because they just jumped into that I'm a girl shit so hard. Like, and I think a large part of it, especially with these younger girls, I don't think all of these girls are girls at the end of the day. Like, I know that's like horrible to say. I just don't like.
Yeah. Everybody's different, and you can equate that to like the people you grew up. Like I grew up with somebody in school, grade school, like fifth, fourth grade, and we ended up graduating high school together. But I wasn't close with him, but I just knew him because he was the other gay person, like in
Mm-mm,
school, actively out. Push comes to shove later on in life. When I started my transition, it was a transition. So it's definitely levels to things. Like when you
hmm
start getting to geesh and going out to the club, then it kind of enhances more to you going into public spaces like that. And I
mm-hmm,
did that for like 3 or 4 years until I was like, you know what, I need to do this full time. I don't think that I'm just a drag queen because they always equate drag queens and trans as the same, but
mm-hmm,
a lot of girls do it because they see some of the other girls like, you know, prostituting and living from here,
mm-hmm,
the fine trade, getting the fine men, and so many be so quick to do that. And I feel like that'd be so like counterproductive to transition just to pull men. And I think a lot of people do that instead of understanding what it is to live as a woman, be as a woman. It's a difference when you go on in public spaces and you look like the fish, but then on the paperwork, everything is male this and male that. You go to the hospital. You got to think about the everyday life that you have to live and
What?
not think about just grabbing a man and go and have sex with him for money. Are you feeling like, okay, I can
mm-hmm,
pull him because I'm just that girl, but you don't really feel like a woman. You just like the certain sides of it. And I've seen in that same person, they ended up transitioning years later, y'all, to become a prostitute, and they never was prostituting as a boy. So I felt like
mm-hmm,
their mindset was totally different. Then they got hooked on drugs. So it was
mm-hmm,
like they progressed to the bad side of it because it's not always good sides, and everybody come
mm-hmm,
out of it, healthy and prosperous. And then I got other friends who knew that they weren't trans, and they would geesh and do shows, and then they were like, you know what, this is not for me. And you have to do respect it. But like you said, Michaela, a lot of girls are not really girls.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of, especially in this generation, I feel like a lot of these girls are really drag queens, and I feel like um like unless you are trying to be on RuPaul's Drag Race or something like that in this generation, being a drag queen is a read unless you are like a performer. Like, and then for my generation, it was just girls who were drag. They would just do drag to go to the club. They were that was just a way they were to express that femininity in them. They weren't always drag. They didn't always do drag. Hell, every time they went to the club, they weren't always in drag. They didn't do drag to do performances. They just did drag to express themselves. And I don't feel like in this generation, if you just started doing drag just to express yourself, then you were like, oh my God, I must be a woman because why do I want to put on a wig and a makeup and I don't want to do shows and shit. So it's like, it's not that lane to just be an individual. You always have to fit into some kind of category or box in some damn way, shape, or form instead of just living life. And I just feel like that's missing from this generation. Like, they always have to everything have to make like my generation. Shit didn't have to make sense. You was just living life. You was like, okay, this is what I felt like doing. Let me do it. But in this generation, it has to be. I have to be gender non-binary because why else would it be? It doesn't make any sense. And it's like, no, bitch. Sometimes shit just ain't gonna make sense. You're just supposed to figure that shit out as you move through life. Like that's what makes life fun.
Yeah. And what's your? Oh, Tracy can go.
Oh, I was just gonna note in Houston, there's not many young girls that do drag. It's all the older girls that do it here.
Drag is even like
Yeah.
drag
Well,
is not.
some of them
It's
show
like
people can be kind of funny acting too. You know,
that too.
if
That
you're not
too.
my gay sister or gay brother, or I'm gonna put you on the show. You know, them young, fine new ones that come out, baby. Everybody be looking like, who is that? Or you trying to upstage us? You know
Hmm.
how the girls can get catty.
But see, what I'm saying though, Shanna, is like, and from where I'm from, like in South Florida, people would just do drag. It wasn't necessarily to be a show or to do
But where did
pageants.
people do drag at? Only in those spaces, though.
But they would
They,
go to the club and do drag, or
right, but they wasn't going to like the stores and to like they mama
oh
and
no,
them.
no,
They wasn't
no.
going to the mama and the family reunions and to school like that. They were only doing it in those type of spaces.
Well, there was one day out the year that they would feel comfortable to pull it everywhere, which was Halloween. But the other, the rest of the year, no. But Halloween, that's when you got all the ones, the vampires. That was their one day to be daywalkers.
Shayna, you mentioned you talked about the girls that transition just to get the men, and I want to. I'm gonna share a little bit of the game because this is something that's only been in our men's group. But first off, men aren't stupid. I don't know why people keep thinking men are dumb, but we're not dumb, and we can completely see right through all of that stuff. And it's just like we even have our own acronyms for that whole thing. Because we see it so often where it's clear to us that this individual, even though they look beautiful as fuck, they're a butch queen. They are a gay man. Inside in between the ears, you're still a gay man. And it's a huge turnoff for a lot of the guys. I think that's why it's talked about so much because it's like we know who and what you are, and yes, you look beautiful, and yes, you are all of these things. But nobody's ever going to take you seriously. You're never going to be wifed up, booed up, whatever, because we know it's just you're not a woman. Like, just not everybody is that. And the ones that are transitioning, the BQs that they transition, they got the look, they got all that, but their mindset, how they carry themselves, everything is still very gay male. It's like, yeah, no. And we all like we see it all the time. And really, those are the ones that we look like, oh yeah, that they're going to be detransitioned in like 7 years. Oh yeah, she's bad as hell now, but she ain't gonna be a she too much longer. She at the top of the game in OnlyFans now, but give it 10 years.
So then I have a question to that because you're not right. You're not wrong in that assessment. But then I look at it also as like the social norm is the male is to lead the home, to lead
Mm-hmm.
society, whatever. And you get a trans woman who transitions, and I feel like a lot of the times, even though you may have felt like a woman before you actually transition, and then you get to when it relates to dating men, for a lot of the girls, it's hard to like be soft for that man, or they don't have
Mm.
the tools to be able to be soft, or let the man lead. And that's just a feminine and a masculine type energy. And we're used to men lead and women follow. Or
Mm-hmm.
so I think that causes a lot of friction as well, because a trans woman has been a man at one point in time, lived as a man. And then
Yes.
now you transition to, like, I know I'm very strong, like, and to be able to, a man to come in my life, he has to be equally as strong, if not stronger. And sometimes that is not always, it doesn't always happen like that, because for one, you got one that either is closeted, or two is just coming to grips with himself. So then
Mm-hmm.
you want him to come, and it's so many parts to it, and it's never like right or wrong, but it's hard dating as a trans woman and as a trans attracted man. And I just feel like, when I feel like people, if you know who your person is, and yeah, you might go through some relationships that didn't work out, but once you know who you are, I just feel like it's a lot better and easier. Like, I know me, I can date someone, be with them, but as soon as it, like, I feel like an inch of we're not going to be further than after this year or something, I kind of cut it off, because I feel like we're wasting our time. And I actually do think about the other person. Like, you're not comfortable with this or that. I'm
Mm.
gonna be this, and I can't change certain things about me, but what I can also do is let you go on about your life as well. And I just had that issue with the last man I was with, and
Mm.
he was out. He was a trans attracted man. He still liked females, but he didn't mind coming around me, my family, or any of that, y'all. But it was just like things was just happening, and I just was like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, we're not gonna make it past the year. So what are we doing? And we tried. We tried to
Mm.
talk. I was in counseling just for myself, because when you look at just your life, what you've been through, trauma, PTSD, grief, all of the things that happen with life that's not even trans, issues, that also is a big perspective on people are damaged whether you trans or not.
And I think that's a big thing, Shayna, within the community, just as a whole. I think it's just a bunch of, because I feel like transgender people in general are kind of broken. Like, you have to be kind of broken for your mind and your body not to be connected, right? That's a broken connection, right? So we try to do everything in our power to try to fix that connection. But a lot of the times, that connection, in my opinion, is always broken. And I
Hmm.
feel like a lot of the girls, I say this all the time, and Chris, you heard me say this all the time. Work on yourself before you put yourself in the dating pool. Don't ruin the dating pool because you are a fucked up individual. Worry about being a good human being before you worry about being a good woman. Like,
Hmm.
and one of the things that happens a lot is a lot of the girls are broken. So they try to fix their brokenness in relationships. And we all know you can't fix being broken in a relationship. That's just gonna make the shit worse. So they keep going around being broken. And I think that's another reason why a lot of the girls like the DL men, because bitch, I'm broken, you're broken, let's be broken together. And
That's not funny, but when you put it like that, Michaela, that is so true.
Mm.
And when you look at it, and just like I'm saying, we're older girls, so we are in a place of reflection. All of us are older, Chris included, so we've all had situations and relationships and just things in life that we have overcome and dealt with. And when I look back on my life, I had depression and grief and all that has nothing to do with my transness.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I have to, get those things fixed to feel like that I'm going to possibly be the best version of myself. And I've worked on it, and I have went to counseling, and I have went to school to learn about how to counsel other people and those things. And if I can't use those tools that I learned, then like my personal life will just be all over the place. Even just being a better sister to my brothers and sisters, like to be a better friend, like
Absolutely.
all of that. When you take out the queerness, the transness, the binariness of it all, who are you as a person? Because you're a human before any of that. And it's just interesting to hear Chris when he say, some of the girls don't like being trans, and that is a true statement because they don't know. Because they don't know who they are.
Or even deeper than that, Shayna, a lot of the girls grew up in the world, right? So just like the world view trans people as weird, a lot of the girls view trans people as weird. That's why they have a hard time dating men who've been with other trans girls, because they're like, wait, the fuck you mean you like these damn trans bitches? Bitch, you supposed to like me. And then the men be like, but you're trans. And they be like, no, I'm me, bitch. But them other trans bitches, and how dare you like to suck and fuck on them bitches that want to come fuck on me? Like, ew. Like, a lot of girls have issues with transness. Like, I find it weird, Shayna, how many girls.
That's a personality defect. I don't think that has anything to do with transness. I think that has to do with, because you would be complaining in that same instance if you had no one to want you. So because you have a trans attracted man who, of course, naturally, he's going to like other trans women. That is just something you have to get over.
It is absolutely something they have to get over, but it's something that it's not an issue that a lot of girls even realize that they have. Like, a lot of girls think it's perfectly normal to, because it's a generational thing, because they see all these other girls sit up there and talk shit about the damn men who, like, they're chasers. That's how we got trade and chasers and all these other words in the community. There was never a loving word for men who like trans women. It was always a negative thing. It's the girls who were Steph and who went away and married. That's when you got your husband, when you became Steph. While you was in the community, all you was able to afford was trade. That's it. So you got to trade within the community. So I think that's another reason, going back to Auntie Laverne, in her mind, growing up as an older trans woman in her 50s, the goal was to have a white man, because that's when you was at your most passable. You was cunt, you was that girl, when you had you a white husband and you was able to go away from the community and live life over there. If you was still around here fucking on black men that all the other girls was fucking on, you was just, the best you ever had was your little piece of trade. That was it. That was all life ever afforded for you. And I think that was that is a mentality that black trans women have to move past and get over in order to be successful in life.
Well, something that you had mentioned, talking about like the men, I'm sorry, the girls, like Shayna was saying, like, hey, he likes other trans women, and y'all need to like be used to that. Something that is actually kind of interesting, something that's been a problem for me in the dating world as of late. Because, I got this podcast, I've made connections. I know Michaela and Shayna. I know your other friend Michaela here in Houston. Like, I know people, and I've actually like volunteered. I'm on the board of a trans nonprofit here in Houston. Like, I've really invested in a lot of I would say the right ways, but it has done nothing but damage my dating life, because
I can imagine.
It's just like, well, I just don't like that you know so many girls. Like, I don't like that you have these girls around you. Huh?
You might know two of my friends who moved out there are trans girls.
Well, yeah, no, I'm saying like Michaela. I don't know if Michaela's one of them, but
This Michaela or Michaela Poche?
Poche.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my
yeah,
girl. Yeah, she's from there
yeah. So I
too.
was just like, but
Hmm.
that's actually harmed me in my dating life because girls are like, I just don't know. It just really bothers me that you know other girls, and it's a problem for me, and I just can't get over it. And I'm like, okay, so I invested, I made meaningful, non-sexual relationships, positive relationships. I volunteer, I put my time and effort, I sow into the community, and it's a problem for my dating life. So it's just like if another guy was like, hey, man, I love that you're doing all this. I would love to do it too. Like I'd have to tell him, like, hey man, this isn't gonna do you any favors in your dating life because they don't like this shit.
Yeah. It's
So
such
like
a
giving back to the community, volunteering for Transgiving. I've done voter registration drives for the girls. I've, volunteered to help get people in touch with resources and get them tested and, host all these safe space events and do all like I've even done helped affect change with the TSA with regards to how they handle trans passengers. Like I've done a lot, and I continue to like help and sew and fight. It's just doing this. I meet a lot of dope people. I make a lot of great connections, and it is not good for the dating life at all. So it's just like, would I advise any other guy to do this? Well, go for it, but it's not going to help your dating life. It will be a net negative.
I think
and I
that's and when you say that, Chris, I just look at it as when I was a young trans girl and I was around the Michaelas and my other sister Pernell and
Mm-hmm.
just the girls dating up we were bush bunnies and gay boys at one time, and then we all started transitioning at different periods of life, and then once you start dating, a trans girl to get in a date for a man, you can most of the time you can go on somebody's app. Back in the day, it was I don't know what it was called. BGC A for A. Now
all
they
the
got
things, girl, all of
the
the things.
jacks and the tags and the Badus and the POFs and all the new shit now to find a date. But sometimes when you just walk out your house and go to the local store, you can pick up a man. But
Mhm.
when the girls find out that one of the other girls have had this man, it'd be like, oh no, I don't want him. But my whole thing is you don't know his bag of tricks who he's had. He's had a multitude of people. So why does it matter? Long as it's like my best girlfriend's ex-boyfriend or something, I feel like everybody is free game. And my mentality was not always like that, y'all. I was one of the girls,
It's
oh no, I don't want to deal with him. He didn't been with her and her and her. But as you get older and you start understanding, sometimes you never know. With that mentality, you'll miss your blessing.
That's
You
true.
absolutely will. I just think it's for that mentality with the girls. I have to. I'm not defending it. I understand it. It's just our trans community is so small already, and this isn't a defense. It's just reality. Our trans community is so small that even I know a lot of trans girls from around the country, right? And I consider these girls friends and sisters and stuff like that. Now, are my closest group of trans friends, do they live near me? No. But do we communicate and talk? Yes. So even though I'm out of the dating pool, thank the Lord, thank the Lord. It's just where do it's just such a likelihood that because you not you particularly just in general that you're gonna be fucking one of my friends like and I don't want to be fucking on one of my friends so it's like which relationship am I choosing my friend that I've known all this time or these men who will fuck everybody all of us if we allow it so it's just like at some point we can't just be letting these men fuck on everybody I that's the mentality
But my whole thing is he don't know your history either, though. So it's
Very
like,
now,
how
Shayna,
can you
that's the
like
God honest truth, and that's where
like
the
how
girls
can
get
you
like fucked up
try
because
to navigate
whoo,
that when he
the
doesn't know
girls
your
be
body
fucking everybody.
That's been my experience. Is like I got somebody judging me who has like easily 3-4 times the sexual experience that I do, if not more. And I'm just like, I just don't understand. And this isn't judging it, but like, I don't understand spending years selling yourself and having sex with all manner of men and then turn around judging somebody else and how they move sexually. Like, how do you feel?
He's a chaser. He done been through us all. And
yeah, but I'm like, that man has probably been through 9 girls, and you've been through, not you, but you know, a girl has been through, you know, she had 100 clients over the year. And it's just like, I just don't understand this. Like, you want to sit in a state of moral superiority over this person and judge them. And it's like, how can you feel valid in that space given the life that you've chosen?
Yeah, you've chosen.
Like, you can't have them both. You can't be the first lady of the church and do all this other stuff. You can't do that.
Do you know what the hypocritical difference is, Chris? The hypocritical difference. This is the hypocritical difference.
Here we go.
But I didn't love them other men, and I loved you. So now I'm sharing my love. And when the girls feel like their emotions get involved, all bets are off, and it becomes a different thing.
Right.
I know it's some
bullshit things right now.
Go ahead.
So yeah, they're giving their love, and normally they're giving the worst sex they've ever given. So there's that too. So it's like, yeah, you know, it's these are things that we like. Men aren't. There's a lot of like similar experiences happening where it's just like, yo, you done had this wild life, you done did X, Y, and Z, and by the time you get to the band, you want to be fucking Judy Cleaver, some Stepford wife and shit. And that nigga like, yo, I thought you were a hoe. Where's the hoe at? I thought you knew how to be the throat goat, do the super spinner mega with the extra flip 360, you know, with the perfect dismount. Like, where's the riding? Where's all of this freaky shit?
You can lay on your back and put your hands behind your head and all.
Yeah, like, and here's the thing: the girls are not shy about sharing their hotels from the past. Oh, yeah, when I was young, I used to do this. Oh, you should have seen me back then. I used to do this, and I didn't do this, and oh yeah, I didn't do this, and I could be ready. I could do this every day. I could all this stuff, and then when it comes to the relationship, it's none of that. And it's like, yo, you waited your entire life to find somebody who really fucks with you and really values you just to give him the worst you got to offer.
Because she a burnout hoe, that's why.
Basically, and I'm just like,
damn, okay, I'm so sorry. While we've been on this line, there has been two shootings, one in Reno, Nevada, where 3 people are dead at a casino. And then right now, 5 people are dead in Manhattan because of some damn mass shooter in Manhattan. Like,
what are you doing?
And you see so much of this going on in the world, and then the trans girl is hollering about, I don't want you. You done been through this and through that. Like, come on now, live your life and keep it moving. Or you gonna be by yourself forever.
Just if you find somebody who really like cares for you and is showing you, giving you their best, and is like really stepping up as a man, give him your best. Because I promise you, like I said, men aren't dumb. We know when we're not getting the best out of you. And yeah, it's not going to be good for anybody. Like, we know when you're just being lazy and you're just not trying and you're not really into whatever. And also, you know, I think everybody understands the difference between when somebody's actually into them and somebody's just like tolerating them.
Yeah.
Like,
you can feel it. You know,
yeah, you can really feel it.
It's a vibe, especially if you wasn't used to it. If I got the greatness for the first month and then something clicked and now I'm not getting nothing, it's a change. Yeah, you can feel that.
Yep, it's that maintenance, and it's just a mess. But either way, I just had to share that because I'm just like, wait, how are we judging this? And then it's just a mess.
No. It's
and then giving the worst after the fact. Oh, Lord.
And then another thing with that whole experience about dating, you know, a training chaser and this and that, you got to understand, in small places, maybe not in big metropolitan cities, but say like a real back town area, you got to think about it. Even in just heterosexual communities, you got brothers and cousins and uncles and aunts
Mm-hmm.
who have the same baby mama and same baby
Mm-hmm.
daddy. Like
Mm-hmm.
they
No.
family fucking on maybe each other, but definitely like other people. Like I know sisters who have the
Oh
same
yeah.
baby daddy. And then you got the trans girls when it's already hard enough to date saying, "Oh, I don't want him. He's a tranny chaser." Girl, you better you knocking your blessing is all I'm gonna say, cause I ain't passing. As long as it ain't my good sister who live here in Baton Rouge, or my sister, one of my sisters out there in Texas. If it ain't one of y'all exes who I know of, and then y'all done been together for years, type situation, everybody is free reign. And I didn't
Mm,
grow up.
No.
I didn't grow up as a prostitute. I didn't have to do all of that. Thank you, Jesus.
mm,
So,
Crazy.
I don't have 50 and 100 bodies on me. But I'm also going to always look for love regardless of what I have been through.
mm-hmm.
And the relationships that did not work out. But when you see so much, and this is for everyone, when you have your view of life, you got to always understand there's other people with their walks of life. And for a
Absolutely.
trans girl to say, you know too many people, well, you gonna know too many people right on side of me. Like, why does that matter?
Oh my
Or
God. The
you,
fucking the trade. Okay, I'm sorry. The trade orbit the girls like planets around the sun. So they always come back around once a year or once
Mm-hmm.
every 6 months or once every 2 years. Like they
Mm-hmm.
always check back in, see if she's
Mm-hmm.
available for a dick appointment. Oh, you
mm-hmm,
still in that relationship? Oh, okay. Well, I just want to wish you a happy birthday. Oh, I just
mm-hmm,
want to wish you a Merry Christmas. They always
mm-hmm,
come back around once in a blue moon. Oh, well,
mm-hmm.
he don't got to know. It's all that, like they're just ever present. It's
I think
crazy.
it's when you just said that, it just another theory that hit me with this. I think it's because for trans women, the men who orbit them gives them superpowers or increase their superpowers or increase what is the damn thing they do in Dragon Ball, the little beings when they get injured.
Oh, it heals them, sensu beans.
Correct. The sensu
Yeah.
beings, right? The trade that's surrounding trans women are the
hmm
sensu beings. Whereas the other trans women is the kryptonite. It's like, oh, okay, as long as I got
Is that a me thing? Or oh
No,
no.
it's a her.
Okay.
It's definitely a her
Michaela.
thing because I don't see her anymore.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to spend all this time complaining about the girls on y'all show or nothing like that. That's not what I'm really all about. Because
No,
I
but
got
you have to
positive
have,
things to say about the girls in community as well.
you
And
have, you have that, and I miss a lot of my sisters. She said my phone died.
yeah.
I have my sisters, you name one of them, but I'm not like overly close with her anymore. And it's not
hmm
like we had anything, but it's just like we're separated. You
Yeah.
moved to Houston, I'm here.
hmm
I'm also happy that y'all have created y'all spaces in life. One of the other girls that live in Houston, I'm more closer with her.
Okay.
And I just stopped coming to Houston as much once COVID hit. And then I
Uh,
went back to school, got my undergrad, and now I'm getting my graduate degree. So, and just life. And I have dogs. I just got out of a relationship. I'm working. Then I
hmm
started doing the gymnastic podcast with Michaela. So I be busy. So, when you
hmm
always, when do you have time for yourself when you're giving so much to everyone else in your life? You have your family aspect, your relationships, your professional engagements. When do you have time for your personal engagements and to find out who you are as a person and what you do and don't like, what you like to do, when you're not
hmm
working. So that's the only thing, with Michaela, us not always seeing each other, but she comes home some of the time. I'll see her every now and again because I really don't do the bars and the clubs anymore because I was like, I did that 20 years ago. But I'm not a performer either, so I don't go
uh,
do shows and do all of those things and have engagements like that because I'm more
mhm.
academia. So I'm more of going to like wellness events and expos for mental health, or we have a lot of back to school drives right now because the
Mm.
kids about to go back to school. So that's where a lot of my stuff is, or go and do testing, or trying to get people into care who is positive but haven't been to a doctor or take medicine in years. We all have different work and different passions. So that's really the only thing with us is we are just in different phases of our lives. But when the girls be saying that, or they be trying to be hip, like try to hide who they've been dating. Like, girl, he is going to find me. If we're in the same vicinity and he likes trans women, he's going to find other girls.
Yeah. And I had I think I did a video about on my TikTok about like basically I just think people have to really a lot of people struggle with self-love,
Hmm.
and they struggle with the idea that basically you are enough.
Yeah.
You are enough. You're enough for this man. You don't like when people are like, oh, I'm worried that he's going to be chasing after these girls or that girl. First off, that's super disrespectful to the man, because it's like you don't have any respect for my sense of loyalty, self-love, my integrity. Like you just instantly assume I don't have any of that, which is
Yeah.
fucked up.
Hmm.
But secondly, it's just like, yo, have enough self-confidence to know that, yo, you are dope. And no, you don't have to compete with everybody else. And this man or this person ain't gonna leave you at the drop of a hat. Like you are enough. And I just think enough people don't really believe that they're enough. They worry about every little piece of competition that
Yeah.
wanders into their space, and it's like, yo, okay, yeah, this man, he gonna know some other girls. He gonna have he. And let's be real, like all of us on the show, ain't none of us spring chickens. We have
Hmm.
lived some life.
Hmm.
We all got a history.
Hmm.
And it's like you got to accept that history is not going to derail what you got now.
Hmm.
Like you are enough. You are enough to keep this man's attention. You are enough to satisfy his needs for love, support, all these things. Like you don't have to be always looking over your shoulder or somebody's gonna take him from me and I'm gonna lose him to this because he likes that. And it's just like, come on now, you're enough.
Women have insecurities, but I feel like the
And
trans
I think that's
women population has even more of an insecurity because for one, that's like, for one, you have to be assured of yourself and have self love. You can't have the self hate, especially when you're trying to date. And then two is like you're deciding like what surgery you want to have next to try to help with your dysphoria. But just my opinion, some of the girls just go overboard. Like you don't need, the ass of two Cardi B's to feel like a woman. I feel like that's just that's insecurity on self. Now, have I had a BBL? Yes, I have. But do I want to go do that shit again? No, not really. And my dysphoria is not that bad to where I feel like I have to go back. Now, do I want to do some like cleanup stuff back in the day? Like I say, older now. So do I want to get like a lift somewhere? Yeah, to enhance already what I have. But it's different strokes for different folks. But as it relates to what you said, Chris, it's like you gotta look within yourself, especially when you want to bring another human in your orbit. Because for one, we too goddamn old to be wasting each other time. For two, I don't want your baggage, and you definitely don't want mine. So it's like we got to work on ourselves, and the perfect time to do that is when you're not with someone. So you can open yourself up to being with, like how you feel, Michaela. You've been a single woman, now you're a kept woman. So you can speak on that. You're married now. I don't think you hear us.
Yes.
damn this.
Michaela
Yeah, I can hear you, Kimi.
she is a.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, we can now.
My bad.
You
Yeah,
HIGH
shit.
girl.
Almost. Uh, My bad. My phone. So I'm on my computer. My computer is always tripping. So my bad if it's like a delay or whatever.
It's fine right now. I see you and hear you good.
But my computer just tripping at any moment in time. So you never know when or where she's going at on my ass. That's why I always have my phone. But it's been almost 3 hours, you guys. I think this is a good place to tonight. Chris, how can the people find you?
Just search Men Like Us podcast on just about every platform. You'll find me. Right now, I'm most active on TikTok.
Oh, I'm never on TikTok, but let me try to find it.
Yeah, Men Like Us podcast on TikTok. And then if there's any ladies watching, they got a man that they feel like he needs community, send them on over to the Men Like Us Tribe Facebook group. It is a private Facebook group. We screen people heavily. It is a safe space for men only. And it's just a place for us to have community and just share and be vulnerable and, to feel some sense of normalcy.
All right, you said TikTok. Let me.
Yep.
I'm never on
TikTok. So, Shayna, how can the people find you?
Everyone can find me. I am Shayna Williams on Facebook. You can reach my email at swsgrb.org. And I'm also on Twitter. Michaela, I think you know the name. Give Me Fever 2012. I'm on Twitter a lot more than anything. Twitter and Facebook. But if anyone is struggling with substance abuse, mental health, HIV prevention, testing, and linkage to care, I can find resources in your city, even if we're not in the same city. I'm a big gymnastics fan like Michaela. That's how we have come into each other's life. And just protect your peace at all costs.
If you want gymnastics, anything about LS gymnastics, you contact that bitch right there. Because that hoe gonna talk to you for hours about it, and y'all gonna be best friends.
Either that or anything LSU Louisiana, period. I'm the girl to come to. Or Southern University. Shout out to the HBCUs. That's where I graduated from. Okay, TikTok. And you said Men Like Us podcast.
Congratulations.
Yep.
You all can find me at Michaela Loves. Anywhere, just Google Michaela Loves Gymnastics. Cover tomorrow. I've been promising y'all that I would do more trans topics, gymnastics topics. I'm trying to do it. It's just, the trans topics aren't my passion right now, but I'm trying. Okay, I'm trying. So ask for it. So I'm trying. That's the best I got. The next topic I do want to talk about though is and I want to do some research, and I'm going to ask everybody to come back because I want to see what's going on with the .org situation and all these them beefing each other and trying to throw each other in jail and trying to ruin each other's organizations and having compete. Like, why can't the community, if there's so many organizations, all of y'all have to cover each zone in the country and we get some shit done? Like, why are y'all competing against each other to get resources? Like, it just makes no sense. So, another day. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Shayna.
Thank you. Y'all have a good